Madness.
Everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show where where we record a podcast in between WrestleMania nights. Why do we do that? Don't know. Can't answer that riddle. But I can tell you that we're here. We're talking about, of course, a bunch of crap that happened in the past week. I'm your host, Ryan Knightsey. And with me, as always, is the man, the myth, the coldest man in the known universe, apparently. Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how you doing?
That's how you get the press passes. A bunch of crap in the past week. That'll really get everyone excited to have you. I don't think it was all crap. I think there was a lot of good stuff.
I feel like I mean crap lovingly, but I don't think that will work on the in court. I don't think that will
not gonna work for me, brother. But hello, everyone. I am tired. I've watched more wrestling in the past week than I think I did in the month prior. And that's not to say I didn't watch a lot of wrestling. It's just been a lot of wrestling. But I'm here. I'm ready to talk about most of it. I'm ready to praise some of it, complain about some of it, and contently move on from others.
Yeah, I think overall this has been a week. This has been a week of wrestling, hasn't it? You know,
it's been a week of wrestling. It sure has.
There's been ups. There have been super high highs, I feel like.
Just like Joey Janela is a wrestler of all time.
There's been super high highs. There's been a lot of lows. I don't know. I feel like, how do you feel about so far? I guess since we're, 75% of the way done through the WrestleMania weekend. How do you feeling? Do you feel like this whole experience this year was worth it? Do you think that everyone delivered in spades? Do you think that the people that we expected delivered, and the people that didn't? What do you? How are we feeling about it? What's your sort of eval of this sort of WrestleMania weekend 2023?
You know,
That's
I
not a good
think
sign.
I think it's like 50-50. Like 50 of my expected people to delivered, and then the other half didn't.
Sure, sure.
Which I'll get to as we go along. There's a show that happened that I didn't walk away from like all that jazzed about that I
Mhm.
was looking forward to. There was a show that I was looking forward to that I thought lived up to the hype. Um, and then there was, the big Shibuya of it all last night, which I definitely, which seeing that I was more excited for night two, I will say that they did better than I expected.
Yeah, I was
For
surprised.
sure.
I was surprised of how good it was.
Yeah, it was a pleasant show. I think a lot of people walked away from it. And some people go a little over the top with it, but I mean, it the first night of WrestleMania has become like the better night every year, so it's not that shocking. Like it was the better night last year,
Yeah,
debatably the better night the year before. And we're not talking about COVID mania, so
yeah,
I couldn't tell you. But yeah, I mean, it's been a good week. I think that's my best way to sum it up. It's been a
yeah.
good week, not a great week.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Totally been solidly good. A classic 3-star maybe. I don't know how it compares to last week. I feel like last week, I mean last week's like Supercard of Honor had like the highest of highs for me. Like that was my match of the year coming out of that show. And this year I haven't I haven't slot the fiver on anything, but I've gotten close a couple times and there's been a lot of great matches. There's been a lot of piss poor quality stuff out there. And we'll get to it all.
I didn't
Well, maybe
expect
not
a
all of it.
five-star match,
We're not
I wanna
talking.
say.
We're not talking Circle Six, so we're not going to get to all of the piss poor quality stuff. But
No, that's not even piss poor, that's, like,
not wrestling.
beneath the surface. It's not wrestling. I feel bad for some of them.
Yeah, no.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah. What were you going to say? He's lost the thread.
I don't know.
He's lost the thread. Well, let's talk about it. We got a big old show of reviews today, and we'll get to WrestleMania Night 2 and whatever matches we missed. We'll talk about Stardom and all that stuff next Friday. This upcoming Friday, I should say.
Stardom had themselves a busy-ass weekend.
Yeah, they did. Bold move, because I don't know how many people.
They did it last year, too. They
Yeah,
had I think the Cinderella opened this weekend last year, because I remember
that
watching it.
sounds right. That sounds right. But yeah,
Which is
bold
happy
move
they
to do
did
it during this weekend. I don't know how many American fans tune in, but I mean,
Well, 0 because none of it was live, so it doesn't matter.
fair enough. Got me there. But yeah, so we'll be talking all about that stuff. Anything that we like, night 2, and anything we didn't talk about from this weekend that we plan on watching, and then all that like review preview stuff, Sakura Genesis, Stardom. That's all going to be happening this Friday. We're not going to be recording on Easter Sunday. It's Easter Sunday, so
It's a holy day, folks. Come on.
Scotty's got church, 9 a.m. church mass in the morning.
That's not true.
And also Jesse's Irish Polish Catholic parents are
It's
coming into town.
It's
so
almost
I will
always
be at
you,
church.
so don't even put it on me.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
It's Easter,
I
folks.
have been asked that due to my sometimes profanity while recording this podcast that it might be a bad look for me to record
Profanity?
during
Us?
it might be a bad idea for me to record while my soon-to-be parent-in-laws will be in my house. So I think,
might have a point.
I don't think it'd be a good look for me to be like, "Yo, fuck Circle 6" out loud in front of my parent-in-laws. But we'll talk about it, I guess. But this week, we're just doing a reviewing of everything pretty much that we were able to see. And we're going to kick off with the Showcase of the Immortals, or at least one night of the Showcase of Immortals, WrestleMania Night 1. What better way to kick things off than WrestleMania Night 1? And you already sort of talked about it, Scotty, but I totally pleasantly surprised. The Night 1 card didn't look all that special to me, didn't look all that great to me, but I think it ended up, every match ended up delivering for what I'll say every advertised match ended up delivering.
Did they stand and deliver?
Yeah, this show did have NXT qualities to them in the sense that well, we'll get to it. Yeah, no, this show I think was pleasantly surprisingly good. I had a good time and a fun time. It had a great ending, a great happy warm ending to end night 1 of WrestleMania. A lot of baby faces.
Get a clue, buddy.
A lot of baby faces winning tonight. What did you think of WrestleMania Night 1 overall?
But it was great. It was up there with the other WrestleMania Night 1s in that it was exceeded all expectations. There's always going to be a few bumps in the road, right? No WrestleMania show can be perfect because you got a lot of matches that get a lot of things on the card. But if I was to tell you and look at the card, out of all the announced matches, really, if there were only like 2 dud type things, and not even duds, that's a little extreme, for one of them at least, you had a good night. Like you said, I think more things over delivered than things under delivered, if that makes sense.
Totally agree. 100% agree to that sentiment.
It felt like WrestleMania, by the way. I want to point that out. I want to be very clear about that. Like with no world title match, it can be different. And I know the women's world title is on the line. Let me rephrase. With no world title main event, which we are used to by now, you always have to step up your game everywhere else. And I think that they did. I mean, if we're going to talk about the pageantry and the spectacle of it all, they nailed it once again. One thing that WWE never fails is to nail that aspect. The big movie theater stage, some great entrances, just a big feel to it. And I don't know about you, but I always love when it's like daylight when WrestleMania starts.
I do
There's
too.
There's just something I love about it. Maybe it makes me less tired, but by the end of these shows, I'm tired. So like, maybe it helps. I don't know. But it was a really, really good show. WWE's best of the year, I'll even say, by a good amount, I think.
Oh yeah, I think this is to me easily the show of the year so far.
Which it should be, WWE, yes. By the way.
It should be. It should. There should be no doubt in when we say show of the year for WWE. But yeah, no. So far so good for night 1, going into night 2. Let's talk about these matches individually. We'll start off, of course, as we always open up WrestleMania with, of course, America the Beautiful. Let's just go into rating performance.
By Becky G.
My girl, Becky G. But we get to the first match, which is Austin Theory versus John Cena. This was obviously announced prior for the United States title. Of course, Austin Theory defeated John Cena. I don't feel like this was a surprise to most. John Cena is 45 and probably has a movie he's filming in a couple days. So of course he's curtain jerking at the top of the card here. And Austin Theory wins. I thought this was a very solid, simple story. You just back and forth. John Cena is probably slightly out of shape in the sense that he's not in wrestling ring shape, so he needed a lot of time to take a breather because Austin Theory totally taunted his way throughout this match. But it ended up doing a lot of simple stuff. John Cena accidentally hits the referee. Austin Theory does the low blow. He does his finisher and gets the win that way. So it sucks to have all the Make-A-Wish kids see their hero John Cena lose. But at least we're pushing off into the future that is Austin Theory, I guess.
I thought this stunk.
You thought this, wow. The John Cena stan himself thought it stunk.
I think Cena did maybe 2 moves.
That might be true. I saw a suplex in there. I know. He did.
Oh yeah, he hit that too. So he hit 3. Unfortunately, this match had 2 ways I thought going. Like somehow Cena was going to be good to go and wrestle a full-on match, or he was just going to get his ass kicked, hit a few things, get the big crowd pop that he's even there, and we'll bring it home. And that's the one we got. It was fine, but at the same time, like,
Yeah.
sure, Austin Theory beat John Cena, but he needed a low blow and a ref distraction.
Oh yeah.
He needed the old NXT, as
Yeah.
you talked about earlier. He needed the old NXT ref bump. And I was like, they couldn't fucking help themselves, could they? It took one whole match. They protected John Cena in the year 2023. Listen, I would if Cena was coming back to wrestle, this year at all, that's one thing, but he's not, folks. It's not happening. Maybe SummerSlam if the claims are correct, but if he's gonna go half-assed in there and just get his ass beat for 10 minutes and then call it a day, is it even worth it?
Yeah.
All right, for WWE, it is worth it, but is it worth it for me? Not necessarily. It's worth it for them because it's John Cena on your card. I understand that. But good for Austin Theory, I guess. Nothing this guy wows me, but he's still a solid in-ring wrestler. He's not bad.
Yep.
He's just not exceptional or anything. And his finisher stinks.
Yeah, he hasn't found the thing that will get him there. He
Needs to shave his beard.
He needs
It's
to shave
really
his beard, dress up like Vanilla Ice at a Halloween party, and start rapping. And that will get him there. That will get him there. I see what you had point. I like the match. I thought it was how do I say?
He didn't even kick out of an AA, man.
It was a super simple story that totally went out there to protect John Cena. I think what they did was a good job at doing that thing, but it was like John Cena is being protected, which at this point he doesn't need to be. Come on, guys. I understand who John Cena is, but he does not need to be protected like that. We need to be putting over Austin Theory. I think this is the level of the level. It's kind of where WWE is at in terms of properly putting over someone, which is getting a low blow victory as a heel, and that's it. It's not he's a definitive victory over John Cena. There'll always be that asterisk of will happen from a low blow. He's still able to hit his finisher after that, but still, it's
at least kick out of one thing. He didn't do that either.
No. If he kicked out of the AA and beat him definitively, that would have been perfect. Or maybe kick out of the lightning fist. I don't care. That would have been perfect. That would have been a great put over for Austin Theory. Yeah. But that being said, I think how this story was done and this protection of John Cena to make it seem like Austin Theory is getting a push. I don't know. I feel like the guy in the back of the headset on in Gorilla really would have liked this. Really would have liked this match.
You know who Austin Theory is? He's not young John Cena.
No, he's not.
He's young Randy Orton.
Interesting.
I mean, he's a safe worker.
Yeah.
Right? He's a safe worker. That's why you put him in there with Cena. He has the look. He has the physique. Yada, yada, yada. Everything he does looks clean. He's just not exciting. And I like some of Randy Orton's stuff. And maybe that's where I'll get with Theory. But that's who, like, I was watching that last night. I was like, kind of feels like Randy more than Cena. And I think maybe it also comes with like his promos aren't as good early on, and a lot of his work overall is just like they want it to be there, much like they did with Randy. It's just not all there yet, but he'll get there.
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, that's WWE in a nutshell. It's, pushing. Everyone has to be a star, so everyone has to be great from the jump. It never really feels like. That's one of the things I like about AEW is that AEW, like, you can see progress. With WWE, there isn't really, you can't really see progress because if they're on the main roster, they have to be great. It's either they're great or they're like, we make fun of them and their jokes. There's that sort of divide. So Austin Theory is great, but you're right, he's not there yet. It takes some time, and maybe the Randy Orton comparison's apt because hey, they put over John Cena anyways. Someone's got to continue that trend, baby.
That's the funny thing, right? It's like we bring up like the AEW see progress thing, or with AEW they keep them off TV and you never see progress. Shout out Jake Cargill. Yeah, I mean, more often than not, you see progress in AEW and WWE. It's weird because like they don't push enough young people either to see progress, if that
Yeah.
makes sense, right? Like they don't give the ball to as many. Like if I look at the card last night without naming anyone before as we get into it, like most of the people on this card were already proven. The only person we'll talk about that's young and has been given the ball to try to figure himself out is young Mysterio,
Mhm.
and I'll give my thoughts about young Mysterio later. But that's the only person I can think of. Did you? By the way, did you see? Speaking of WWE and AEW, did you see Cody's comment from SmackDown the other day?
His California love comment.
No, 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 no.
That one made the rounds. That one for sure
That
made the
was
rounds.
it. Sure did.
Well, I did not. I don't think I did. What was it?
He said, and I quote, told me I couldn't even be the guy in my own company, which is odd because Roman Reigns, an 11-year, tens of $1 million investment with WWE telling you he's the guy, and it only started paying off in year 8. And I was like, wow, that was a little too real, my friend.
I think because then, I did see that comment because then I believe the crowd was like, "Oh," and he's like, "No, no, no, we're shooting, cowboy, we're shooting." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's how you build. That's how you build in this day and age, baby."
Cody, AEW wins again tonight. Let's go, baby.
But let's talk about match number 2 for WrestleMania. Let's move right along to match number 1. This is the Showcase Men's 4-Way match. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, the Street Profits, defeat the teams of Braun Strowman and Ricochet, the Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, and the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable and Otis. What did you think of this match, Scotty?
It was a showcase match. It did exactly
Did
what
its
the
job,
title of the
baby.
match was said. You know what it did showcase? How many people they don't use correctly. That's what it showcased. Congratulations. Chad Gable, shout out to Chad Gable. Montez Ford, shout out to Montez Ford. Angelo Dawkins, shout out to Angelo Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Ricochet, I knew you still had it in you, my friend. I knew you still had that crazy side in you. Otis is entertaining, obviously. The Viking Raiders are washed beyond washed.
I
And
think
Braun,
I think the Viking Raiders are the only team that I don't right now remember anything they did. They did not successfully
exactly,
be showcased.
which is crazy because 5 years ago they were easily one of the best tag teams, and now they stink.
I'm trying to I'm legitimately am trying to remember a spot that they had.
You can't because they did nothing.
Yeah. I mean,
One of them hit like I don't remember the names. Ivar maybe missed a moonsault.
nice.
That's about all I remember from them.
I'll give them half credit for that cool Tower of Pain.
Oh yeah, where Ricochet's like, I'm just gonna jump at him.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what happens.
Where we did that was impressive. The stalling suplex Tower of Pain spot.
Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. It was a cool thing to do without, I don't know, breaking someone's leg.
That's true. That's true.
Still scarred from that. I apologize, folks.
Very scarred by that.
Oh,
But I thought I personally thought this match was good.
it was.
Again, to me, the first match was like, all right, that was very basic. It was what I expected. Sure. This match, I was like, all right, they successfully showcase flying all over the ring, doing this crazy ass stuff, and pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting much. I forgot I always forget how good these people are because of how they are showcased in WWE proper.
Nice. See what you did there.
On Raw and SmackDown and stuff. But at WrestleMania here, they all stepped in, stepped out. I thought for the most part, everyone was showcased very well. I think there were some spots that didn't quite work per se, but I think for the most part, every spot nailed it. The crowd was into it, and I was into this match. So I thought this was pretty good. I thought
It was
pretty
the PWG style multi-person tag, and it was fun. That's what it was. It was fun.
Totally agree.
Should have put it somewhere else on the card, though. I think it would have woke some people up.
Yes, that I could agree with. I could agree with.
But I guess there was no really other place I could put it, so I don't really know. They put it after Theory and Cena, which probably actually helped. So
next up was Seth Rollins versus Jake Paul, joined of course by a Prime water bottle.
fair, right?
So when that Prime water bottle was coming out to the ramp, I tweeted out the moment I saw it. I tweeted out the Prime bottle is jokingly. I said this. Actually, the Prime bottle is KSI. Apparently, I was right because later in the match, it was revealed that KSI, his business partner for Prime, was joining the match. This match I thought was really, really good. It wasn't the best Logan Paul match I've seen, but I thought it was really good. I thought they had a good subversion of the Logan Paul elbow drop splash thing he does to the commentary table by throwing KSI into it.
That was awesome.
That was perfectly timed too. So that was good. I really liked that. I thought Logan Paul and Seth Rollins did great work here. It wasn't the blow away match of the night for me per se, but it definitely was really, really good. I really enjoyed this match, and it was what I had super high expectations going in. That's mostly on me, but it still was very, very good. What did you think of this Logan Paul Seth Rollins match?
They better sign Logan Paul to another contract.
Yeah, I don't know because how long was his contract? Was it just a year?
It expired to expire at WrestleMania.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
sign him again.
Very sad. Gotta sign him again. This is Logan Paul's second best career match now, behind the Roman Reigns one, which is wicked funny because people will hear that and be like, "What did you just say?" But I think it's interesting, and if he does work longer, he'll figure out how to wrestle more of a heel style.
Mm-hmm.
Because he wrestles a great babyface style, obviously.
Yeah.
Because he's flying through the air and stuff like that. But to me, he figured out more towards the end of the match. He could be snotty but show off at the same time because he's like, "Yeah, I am that good." Shout out. He respected the great Antonio Inoki, sports entertainer Antonio Inoki, which was great. I thought that was real classy of him to.
And not just respect the great Japanese sports entertainer, but throwing down respect, stealing moves from a great sports entertainer in Kenta, right?
Yes, that was like, for me, when he hit the GTS, I was like, okay, so Seth definitely said do the GTS.
100%. That was a Seth
no
call.
doubt. So I could kick out of it, and I was like, that's fantastic. Seth's really killing it right now. Logan Paul knows exactly what he's supposed to do.
Yes.
He is a prodigy at this thing.
Yes.
It's stupid, but it's the truth. I think this match had another level or two, and I'd love to see them run it back sometime. It won't happen, but I liked it a lot. It was a great way to kind of really, I think, kick WrestleMania into gear, and it was pretty much from here on out. I think most things hit for me, except for the next match, which was
so not here on out.
I said most things. There was one thing that did it, and I don't count the impromptu match.
I was going to say, I was like, that one didn't really work for me.
So that man almost killed himself for that one match, so shout out to him.
Yeah, no. I totally agree. Is that it was very good. Seth Rollins been killing it. Seth Rollins totally told him to do the GTS spot 100%. I love.
Crowd was incredible, by the way.
1000%. Jake Paul is not watching Antonio Inoki tapes.
Logan
Jake Paul. Yeah. Well, no, Jake Paul is watching Inoki tapes.
There we go.
But you're totally right. If you sign him to like another year contract, then he'll have more time to, if he's interested in doing that, which I hope he is, because I say it every time. I hate the man, but boy howdy, if he's not a great wrestler, goddamn.
You're an impulsive fan, boy.
Yeah, I'm a primer. Is that what they call him? Yeah, no, but you're right in the sense that like he still hasn't figured out, like, it's weird because he's like a naturally unlikable guy. And he has a good heel energy about him, but he hasn't figured out how to do it in terms of his in-ring work.
Right. He has a babyface in-ring style. That's why.
Yeah, and it's just converting that. And I think this match
he's just gonna become Will Ospreay.
Yeah, and that's all he has to do is become. He has to be harder hitting. That's basically all he has to do. All this showed is like different cool spots for him to do. Right. The GTS, the modified Inoki stretch, octopus stretch. It's just different cool moves he did, but he hasn't actually done heel work yet. I think we'll see. I would love for him to do more work in this
Yeah.
company. Obviously, these matches are weirdly matches I look forward to every single time. So I don't see why not just sign him up again.
This was his first singles match as a heel.
Correct.
So, I
Correct.
mean, can't really get mad at him for that.
No. I think it's I don't know. It's not that I get mad at him for that. It's just that
No, I know. I'm saying we like moving forward, it's like, all right, you learn more and you're just gonna be like the best fucking wrestler in this company.
yeah. What I mean to say is that like I know how these celebrity matches are put together, and I don't think Logan Paul is putting these matches on the spot like John Cena, calling him out in the ring. But so like what I mean to say is that like I know Drew Gulak is helping him with these matches. I just wish Drew Gulak showed him more heel offense, heel
Mm,
esque offense. Tougher, stronger stuff
sure.
to do it. But maybe he did, and Logan was like, I'm not interested in doing that. I'm just gonna do this instead. I don't know.
In time, in time. This is his third singles match.
Only his third. I feel like he's had way more.
He's wrestled. Well, I don't count the Rumble. So he's wrestled. He wrestled the Miz, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins.
Oh man, he did a tag match as well at some point.
Yeah, he teamed with the Miz
Miz.
against the Mysterios
Yes.
last year.
Yes, he did do that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe
Did you
he
know the Usos won their first pair of tag titles from the Mysterios?
that was a century ago.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, holy shit! Long-term storytelling, baby, all around.
Yeah, baby. Next match. It was the 6-woman tag team match: Becky Lynch, Lita, and Trish Stratus versus Bailey, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. Sort of this isn't the worst match on the card, like you said. There is the Pat McAfee Miz match, but this match was sort of I don't know. I don't want to say disappointment because there is like two like older women legends in this match, so I'm not I don't know what to expect from them, but like
It was about as I expected.
yeah, it was kind of a flat okay. This is fine. This is serviceable, I guess. But
Io Shirai did her damnedest.
hmm
Let me give her all the credit. I'm gonna give her all the credit because I thought she did a great job at making literally everyone look better.
yeah,
Um, she made Lita look better. She made Trish look better. I guess she made Becky look better. I thought Becky was fine, obviously, which I expected Becky to be fine. You know, she's the youngest of the trio.
yeah.
Um, it, it's weird that Lita's the champion because Trish is obviously she works better in quotes as if either of these two looked 100%, but like they tried some stuff. I think some people were a little harsh on this match. Like I think some people were like, "This was awful." It's like it wasn't that
It
bad.
wasn't awful. It wasn't awful at all.
It just it stinks because you have the young people lose. But if you ever expected anything else, you're nuts.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, like, I never expected Damage Control to win.
no.
Damage Control has never won anything. Why would they start now? I mean, they Damage Control has fit one good role, and the entire role has just fill in the gaps for them. That has been it. Like,
Yeah,
oh, we need a tag team to hold these titles. There you go. Oh, we need a challenger for Bianca. Bailey, let's go.
yep,
Oh, we need something to do for Becky. Oh, Damage Control, let's go. They've
yep.
just been there to fill in gaps as a heels. They should be broken up after WrestleMania. No offense to them. I think they're just all well, maybe not Dakota Kai, but I think two of the three are probably better off on their own. I think Dakota Kai can find her way as well.
I mean, that's like the weird problem of this faction is that I agree they shouldn't exist as a faction, just even in kayfabe sense. They've been in this company for as a faction for 8 months now, and they had a good kind of winning streak at the beginning there, and it's kind of fallen apart a little bit before what was it
They
September?
won.
They won the tag. They won tag titles at some point.
Twice, actually.
So I think it sort of like fell apart a little bit before
Yeah.
September Clash of the Castle. Yeah, so you know, in kayfabe they shouldn't really make sense as a team anymore. I'm sure they will still be a team because they need a faction of heels. If they broke up, I would be nervous about Io Sky and Dakota Kai and what they would be doing moving forward, since they were handily, easily already booked almost out of the company before
Yeah,
August
I
of
mean, if
last
that's
year.
what we lead to, then let's do it again.
Maybe that's a good point. maybe Scotty's got a bias in why
I
saying we
was
should
this
destroy this
goddamn
faction.
close. I'm not happy about it.
But yeah, I thought this match was totally fine. There wasn't
Yeah.
any work that like showcased anything to me.
No, they did that cool the like lifted I don't know what that whatever the head scissors is that's
Oh
Trish
yeah,
does.
yeah. The head scissors takedown, bulldog sort of thing. She does.
Yeah.
That was a nice spot. Yeah, no, it's just like yeah, it was fine. They worked. It wasn't blow away or anything. And
Take the lead. You can take the titles off of Lita anytime
I
now.
was about to say, I was like, I don't now. Where do we go with the women's tag titles? It didn't
I'm
wasn't
sure
weren't
it's just
defended
going to be
here.
Ronda.
Trish, is Trish going to be involved in that too? And then we'll do a feud from there. And then whenever Ronda's available, I don't know.
Trish was retired like 7 times.
I was also very confused that like the idea was for the Ronda match at WrestleMania to be for the tag titles, and I was like, but the tag titles are on Becky Lynch and Lita. How are we going to get it to someone else? Have them lose at some point, put it on someone else, and then have them not involved in that match at WrestleMania? I was like, I
They
don't
would have
know.
had Lita wrestle twice, and that would have been a nightmare for everyone.
Yeah, and probably nightmare for Lita. Let's be honest. But yeah, that never made any sense to me. But yeah, this is fine. Next match: Dominic Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, brought to you by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. What was the
The
line?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch match of the night, baby.
What was the line? The dissolution of father and son's relationship, sponsored by Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Just a classic
You wouldn't give
disillusionment.
Dominic the cereal.
They should have. That mascot should have also been KSI, and then he should have run in and done a little thing. Take off the mascot head. Yeah, no. What do you think of this match? We'll start with you, Scotty. What do you think of this match?
One, the entrances were excellent. The Dominic entrance
Was good.
had
good.
me like laughing the whole time. So I was
Yeah.
like, you guys did your job. You guys know that he's an absolute goober and you're gonna keep going with it. I was like, wow, you should probably keep the mask on.
You gotta lean into the gooberness of Dominic.
Oh yeah, and they sure did. I thought Ray's entrance was great too, though. I did say they should have had Dominic come out to Latino Heat. I think that would have been great.
Agreed.
Because people would have booed him out of the building. But I understand why Ray wanted to do it.
I think both of them should have come out to Latino Heat. Just so we have.
Well, he has 2 songs. You could have played the other one.
That's true. That is true. But I think have both of them come out to Latino Heat so we can hear once again what Latino Heat sounds like to boos and cheers.
It would have been a great Eddie tribute. The match itself, like structurally, it's just a basic match. Like the actual wrestling, very basic. Dominic isn't all that good. He's fine. Yeah. He's fine. Yeah. He is a fine at this point of his career. I will say he's not a bad wrestler, but he's not a good wrestler. He's fine.
Yeah.
Kind of like I was talking about with Austin Theory earlier. They remind me of each other a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Based off of what Dominic was at one point, though, he has improved. Yeah, he used to be a bad wrestler. But like all the little story bits and like Bad Bunny taking the chain and stuff like that had me on the edge of my seat. I was like, come on, Bad Bunny, do something. And then when Bad Bunny grabbed that, I was like, let's go. I can't wait for Bad Bunny versus Dominic. Gonna be a great time.
Well, I mean, it's probably gonna be a tag match, right? And Backlash Puerto Rico, Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio versus Dom and Damian Priest or something.
Yeah, it makes sense. There's the history. He teamed with Priest.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that if you want to run that. I think they're fucking so lucky to have Bad Bunny loving pro wrestling, by the way.
100%. I was thinking that exact thought when he showed up on commentary. When he said like the most streamed artist for the past 3 years, I was like, they're getting so many eyes on this one show just because of Bad Bunny.
And it's so smart. But yeah, no, I thought the match was a lot of fun. It checked all the boxes, got the job done.
Mm-hmm.
I had fun. Was it a great wrestling match? It was as basic as hell.
Yeah.
Like there was nothing like out of this world from either of them. But it did the job. It left me entertained.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Latino world order coming out. Like, I don't know what made them do that. I think that's a fun little thing for Ray to do and like give Legato an actual reason to exist.
I mean, that was something that Rey Mysterio has always been like talking about for years. Is he's wanted to do a
Yeah.
revamped, better, actual new version of Latino world order.
He's got a good group with them. Oh, maybe that'll be the match. Maybe it'll be Ray Santos and Bad Bunny versus the Judgment Day.
That's a solid. That would make sense. That would make sense. And Bad Bunny.
I'd like Santos to do something.
I would also like Santos to do something.
He did a great tope in this match. One of the most impressive things of the whole match, maybe the most impressive.
Because it didn't just hit Damian Priest in a great fashion. It hit him in between the commentary booths, so he just disappeared. It was beautiful.
Great.
It was a great
but again, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yep.
Rey Mysterio wore a great Buddha tribute. He said, I could not figure out for the life of me when I was watching it because of the colors. I was like, who is he? What is he doing? Is he the Flash? Like, I don't know what he's doing here. And then he said it was the mood. I was like, oh, I see it in the mask now. But I had a great time.
If he should have done full Muda and misted.
Oh, absolutely. If Asuka didn't have it as her gimmick, he would have.
100%. Yeah, no, I thought this was a good match. Completely serviceable. It was a similar vibe to like the Austin Theory John Cena match to me. I've been seeing people throw out like 4 or 5, not 5 stars, but 4 stars to this. I'm like, I don't think it's that. But I think it was good. I gave like 3. You know, I was like, I think that was good. You know, completely good, serviceable.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was a pro wrestling match.
Yes.
With all the outside factors hitting better than the match itself.
Agreed.
You know what I called it? The good version of Sting versus Triple H.
Interesting.
Where you get the right winner.
Interesting. Yeah, no.
Because it had like all the people coming out and all the pomp and circumstance. And I was like, this is how I would have felt if Sting won.
And legitimately, it also was a good culmination of the long-term storytelling they were doing. All the way, you know, tying all the way back to the Mysterio family soap drama with the when they had the tag titles and all that stuff. You know, everything went with Bad Bunny. Everything was involved in this match. Every plot point almost it felt like in the past several years has been tied back to here. So I thought that was a good good conclusion, a good place to end this story. So yeah, I think that's good. We'll do a little like post credits 6-man tag in Puerto Rico, and then Rey Mysterio will.
You should.
And then Rey Mysterio, maybe if I was Dominic, maybe I think a good ending to do for Dominic is to have Rey Mysterio trapped in like a truss of a stage, leg trapped in the truss of a stage. Dominic grabs a chair and just wallops him over and over again. I mean, I see that clip billions of times too. We gotta get that Rey Mysterio lore back, baby. His knee, we gotta get that knee hit lore. Yep.
I thought about this. Rey Mysterio absolutely needed to win this match. Like, I know like people like put the young guy over. No, there was not a second that I was like Dominic should win this.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It was weird.
There are elements where the story does not have Dominic winning. The story does not have Dominic. Rey has to win story-wise. There is a thing where I feel like Dominic has to beat Rey at some point.
Yes.
Kind of playing into like, teacher becomes, master, or, teacher becomes a master thing. Student becomes a teacher, whatever. Kind of playing into that idea. He has to win at some point. If it's not a WrestleMania, I don't see it necessarily happening at, Backlash. But maybe the point that you do that is like, I don't know, like SummerSlam or something. I don't know if you want to hold out that long, but it's something like, a big show like that.
You can come back to it.
Yeah, you can come back to it. Do like a gimmick match or something to do the final thing. And that's when you finally put over Dominic or something.
Yeah. Or Santos Escobar, baby.
Because that's also at that point. Oh, I was gonna say gimmick match. At that point, you do like the mask versus hair match, right? And that's easy peasy. And then,
well, yes, except if Dom's supposed to win, how are we taking Rey Mysterio's mask from him?
I could totally see Rey Mysterio being like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give my son my mask."
I could too. Just he would be wrapping up the career.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, no, he'll go back to being a filthy animal. I think that's the idea. He'll come out in the ski caps and weird jeans, weird big jeans.
This was I thought this was actually a really well called match by Cole. I don't usually give a shit about commentary like other people do, you know, like how people get mad with Corey Graves and stuff, because I block it out so much. Like I block out the little things. Like I learned after AEW this week that they had new ropes. I was like, what?
2 episodes have gone by and he didn't notice?
I didn't give a shit about ropes. Everyone was making a big deal about ropes. I was like, who cares? They're just ropes.
Yeah.
Like that part doesn't matter to me, but this was like Michael Cole is really good at selling the fact that he fucking despises Dominic Mysterio.
Yes.
And I was just laughing the whole time. I was like, no, this is good. This is good. I like this. But good job all around by the Mysterio clan and Santos Escobar and specifically my guy, Bad Bunny.
I'll also say one thing about Pat McAfee is that him coming in the commentary has revigorated Michael Cole in such a way that has made him way better than he has been in the past.
Yeah. I think Vince also not being in his ear too probably helped.
Well, I don't know about last night.
You know, he was in other people's ears. Yeah, he hasn't gotten to the commentary ear yet. He's only in other ears.
He's just in the room. In Gorilla,
just suggestions.
Just suggestions. Wearing a headset, talking to people over the thing. He's not doing creative. He's just in the room on the headset, telling people what to do.
I'm just imagining him in the main event. Have we considered not having the bloodline boost?
I also love suggestions because it's like he's the guy that runs the company. These aren't suggestions. He's telling people what to do. Even if they were suggestions, people are going to do whatever he asks because he is the owner of the company and he will fire you tomorrow. Yep. So
you'll know when Vince takes back full over very quickly. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
You'll know it very quickly.
You'll feel
there's little itsy bitsy pieces, but there's gonna be the moment where it all comes together and it all is Vince. For now, you still get a little piece here and there, but just wait till Charlotte squashes Rhea.
Well, yeah, let's talk about that match: Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. You go first.
No, you go first.
I was gonna say that the beginning, maybe first half of this match, for me, stunk.
Kind of a stinker.
Stunk crap. Stinky doo-doo that was stinking up the ring. Poo pee. It was stinky doo.
So I'm happy you said this. Okay.
That exact quote. You're happy I said that exact quote?
Well, I mean, I would have said it simple. But yeah, get it. So here's the thing, right? I watched night one with my friend. I'm sitting here watching with him, and we're like, oh, this is a night where Charlotte Flair's not playing ball. That's what we decided.
She wanted that main event. She wanted that main event.
No, yeah, she wanted that main event. She was also losing, so I was like, she's sandbagging the whole night. Rhea's doing her best. I thought Rhea had a great match from start to finish.
Yeah.
She really had one of her best matches. But I was like watching the first half, and I was like, does anyone else see what's happening? Like, this kind of stinks.
It's boring as all hell.
It was so boring. They weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
And then they flipped the switch.
And by flip the switch, you mean flip Charlotte Flair directly under her face.
You're goddamn right.
As soon as that happened, the match kicked off into it went from like first gear to like fifth gear. It was like,
yeah.
I was like, holy shit. All of a sudden this match became great.
I was like, holy shit. They figured out who Charlotte Flair was.
All it took was Charlotte Flair smashing her face against the mat. It brought out that rough, like, it brought out the great Charlotte Flair, which is like weirdly sloppy, but like super hard hitting and super aggressive. Like, just so good at that point on. Great spots. That like I said, that flip switch, that that German suplex where she flips onto her face, that was a great spot. Moving on through the rest of the match, you do the final spot of the riptide, the super riptide at the end. Before we get to the post match part of it, I thought the rest of the match was great stuff. Charlotte Flair looked fantastic, back to where she was years ago. Rhea Ripley stepped up, stepped out, showcased, did all that stuff. She looked like a superstar, looked like $100, had all that confidence in the world. I personally, because the first half was so boring, I liked their 2020 WrestleMania match more than this one.
Me too, sadly.
But this one, but like, if we just chopped off that first half, the second half would be better than the first match. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I saw a lot of people giving this praise, and rightfully so, because you remember the second half more than you remember the first half, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
But I was seeing people say like one of the greatest women's matches in WWE history. I was like,
I saw that a lot. I
was like, the past two WrestleManias have had that.
Yes.
Right? They've had that.
Yes.
Both Bianca matches have been that.
Yeah. Especially the Sasha Banks one.
Right. Which I know some people love the Becky Lynch one.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the Becky Lynch one. I love the Sasha Banks one.
Same.
And I was like, I don't like this is very good.
Yes.
I was like, did I miss I'm happy you confirmed the first half was bad to me, because I was like, did I miss something in that first half?
It felt like people
on my ways.
It felt like it was so boring It felt like it was so boring that people forgot how bad the first half was.
Yeah, because once you start dropping people on their heads, it's like, oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
And it was. They had such a good second half that they made it a great match.
Yeah.
Like they made it however you grade your system.
Yeah.
They brought it to a level that I was ready to say stinker. This thing sucked.
Yep.
Charlotte Flair's wash. Yada yada yada. And then Charlotte Flair had to wake up because she had no choice.
Yeah.
And like I said, Rhea Ripley was outstanding from start to finish. All the confidence in the world. She has that swagger back that she had in NXT once upon a time. I didn't know if she could ever get that back.
Yeah.
Because just of how everything went. So if we want to talk about like all the things Triple H did during his time of reign, the best thing I think he's done is by himself is get Rhea Ripley to this top level. Because yes, she was in Judgment Day, but Judgment Day was dying a death, people.
Yeah.
Before he took over. It was dead, gone. You could throw it in the trash and I would have been fine. But we're talking about two back-to-back matches that involved full-on Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
And we are praising it.
Yeah.
A year later, right? This started a year ago. I thought it was dead in the water after a month. And now we're sitting here and, Dominic's someone. Rhea Ripley is great.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see Rhea Ripley like wrestle some top talent. Like her, and now she's on SmackDown, so not gonna get my hopes up anymore.
Yeah.
But they're gonna need a shakeup or something. Obviously. Hey, listen, people, listen to me right now. Are you listening? If Triple H can hear me, listen. You did a questionable decision at NXT. Okay, questionable at best. Call up Roxanne and let her and Rhea have a great David versus Goliath match. Okay, you bastard. Stop wasting the good talent, please. Thank you.
Moving on.
She's gonna fight Liv Morgan first.
Moving on to the next match. I thought this match was great. No, moving on to the next match. So we thought it was going to be the main event time. Oh my
god, I thought it was the main event. I just got so upset.
Main event time. But instead, we of course have the host of WrestleMania come back out. I didn't mention it at the top here, but Snoop Dogg and The Miz were the hosts of WrestleMania, a coveted role in the locker room, I'm sure. He comes out, he announces the attendance of 80,000 people, which WrestleTix right before the show said 66. So, hey, there's a couple of people pregnant backstage, I'm sure.
No, there were just other people working in the building.
The janitors, of course,
the concessions, the actual WWE crew.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley was in attendance, so that counts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh, a person hired to work for the company was in attendance. Uh, but I also love that idea because then it's like, man, does it take 14,000 people to put this show together? That's so
Based
many
on the
people.
stage, I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
Based on everything else, absolutely not.
No. But yeah, so they come out. They're talking about the Miz has done an open challenge on social media. Pat McAfee shows up. I guess the Saudi Arabia deal is not happening. Pat McAfee shows up and he says, "Hey, Miz, I'm glued to the internet. I didn't see anything you were talking about." And then he challenges the Miz to a match. The Miz says, "I'm a host. You can't make any matches." Snoop Dogg says, "Well, I'm a host and I can make matches. So have a match right now." I would have loved if it was for the gold belt. I thought that would have been very funny if they did that.
That's what I was hoping for.
I was really hoping for special guest referee Snoop Dogg.
Me too.
And then they had a impromptu Pat McAfee match. A crowd died here. The crowd did not care at all for this match.
So here's the problem. They're tired. They're also trying to save their energy for the main event. No one gives a fuck about The Miz.
They also thought the next match was the main event, and then this happened.
Yeah. So just think of all the sadness that poured through. They were excited when Pat McAfee showed up, but the moment they said, "Oh, let's have a match," they're like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me," which is pretty much how I felt at that point. Yeah. I was like, I just want to go to bed.
Between the moment the Charlotte Flair Ripley match ended with Charlotte Flair smiling and clapping at Rhea Ripley no selling the match, to I'll say Austin Aries airing the match. Remember that 205 Live bit? To the beginning of the Sami Zayn match. That was like what, an hour, I think, of unnecessary faff that had no existence being on the show. Like it was a 4-hour show, Scotty.
And Little Uzi Vert.
And Little Uzi Vert. It was a 4-hour show. There was an hour and 56 minutes of wrestling. Almost half of the show was wrestling. You know how many more matches
tonight with one less match? You could have just saved it for tomorrow.
You could have just done more matches in this night. You could have at least 2 more matches tonight, but you didn't. You had to do this.
Oh, it's not even like they did the Peacock commercial.
No.
Like it wasn't a Peacock commercial that took the time up. It was this dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It was so bad.
It was very bad.
Pat McAfee almost killed himself, by the way.
Pat McAfee, of course, going to the head coach at the PC in terms of catching dives. The Miz just whiffed Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee strattoned himself on the pavement. It was not good spot. But they finished it. George Kittle was involved.
Pentagon Jr.'s favorite wrestler.
Everyone on Twitter was very nervous he was going to do the zero miedo because at one point he threw up his hand and everyone was like, "Oh no, he's going to do it."
I would have had a big time pop if he did the zero miedo. Everyone would be like, "What is he doing?"
I think maybe a quarter of the crowd have been super into that, and been like, "Oh, what is he doing?" Yeah, it was wild. It was a wild impromptu match that had no reason to be here. It wasn't even good. It was completely fine.
We're getting an impromptu match tonight. You know that, right?
I know. Vince McMahon.
Bobby needs one.
Oh, you're right. Bobby does need one. So we'll do.
That's why they left it. That's why they only did 6 tonight. Unlike the show last night where they're like, "Oh, let's just add another."
What if they do? So what do you think that impromptu match is? My guess is it's going to be the Great Muta and Yoshiki Inamura versus Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest, and Yoshiki Inamura gets pinned.
There's a great picture of Yoshiki Inamura with someone. Let me find it.
I just love the Great Muta.
Oh, with Logan Paul.
Logan Paul they have no idea who each other are. I guarantee it. I guarantee no.
Yoshihiro only watches Logan. He only listens to Impulsive.
He's a big impulsive guy. Oh man,
he's big time impulsive. But yeah, I was tired by this point, but it was weird because I was like, well, at least now I'm reinvigorated. Need something good to happen.
And something great happened. The main event: Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos, sponsored by Little Uzi Vert.
You mean the Stenerico versus Young Bucks love letter?
Young letter to Reseda, California. The love letter to Little Uzi Vert. The love letter to Super Dragon.
You should have seen my face when this fucking guy walked out there. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" One, they got Little Uzi Vert because the Weeknd says no to them every year, despite making his theme song their thing every year.
Every year for like 5 years.
Two, well, they weren't gonna get Cool in the Gang, obviously. So, I mean,
I don't know. I think you can dig them up.
I don't even know if they're alive.
Me neither. Let me look that up.
I think they are.
Anyways, you were saying.
Either way, you weren't going to get them to WrestleMania. So I was like, Little Uzi Vert comes out here. I was like, I turned to my friend and I go, "What do you think Kevin and Sammy's faces look like right now?" Because I know what Kevin usually makes face wise. He's probably like, "What is happening? Can this stop? Can we just go out there and do our damn thing?"
It was also not. I don't think it was a good Little Uzi Vert performance. Like I was. Like,
I don't remember a single thing he said.
Well,
I don't even know what the point was.
I don't. It was just mumble rap stuff.
I wanted to just see the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. That's all I wanted to see for an hour. That's all I wanted to see.
I really wanted, after hearing that like Fightful report about Vince McMahon and Gorilla, there's never a moment more in the show that I wanted to cut back to Gorilla than during the Little Uzi Vert performance, and seeing all those old white guys see Little Uzi Vert out there and be like, "How much do we pay for this guy? Who is he? What is he doing?"
You say that, but this is the same company that gave Flo Rida like 75 deals to come and sing, so I don't think anything's off the table. Vince probably asked for.
To be fair, that's Mr. Worldwide. You can't dunk on Mr.
No,
Worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide is Pitbull.
What? I thought
ready the grand light.
I thought Flo Rida was Mr. Worldwide. Where's Flo Rida then?
Florida. Anyways, to the entrances, to the whole shebang. I'll take this over. He wants to talk about Lil Uzi Vert too much.
No, you brought up Lil Uzi Vert first. Don't throw this on
we had the Oompas, we had the Usos, walk out, white gear, all good stuff, normal entrance. Well, I guess Lil Uzi Vert counted as part of their entrance.
How dare you say Lil Uzi Vert's normal?
And then
he had
my
a
favorite part of the
gemstone
night
implanted in his forehead, like some sort of anime character.
This was the perfect part of the entire show.
Yes.
And it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn making their entrances because it's WrestleMania, right? Everyone's got all pomp and circumstance, big, brand new, pretty gear. And these two showed up exactly how you want Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to show up. They had sweatshirts, t-shirts, and their pants and shorts.
Yeah,
but
that's it.
We had a nice Pro Wrestling Gorilla logo on there, and that was a very nice touch.
And Super Dragon logo as well.
And Super Dragon. Yeah, he was on Kevin's. And they had the same like style writing on their pants. That was cool.
Commentary shouts out Reseda. That's nice. That was nice.
Yeah. Michael Cole said during the match that El Generico would be proud.
Yep. He's been doing that a lot recently. I feel like this isn't the first time he's brought up El Generico.
I think he did it during the Roman match too.
Yeah. But I thought this match was great. I thought this match, it had a lot of, it had a little bit of that drama in there, but that was serviceable for what the story was they were telling. I thought I don't think it got, it started to encroach the line of over the level of drama and like talking we're doing this match, but it didn't exceed that line for me. So I thought good job there, I guess. It was totally a Super Kick Party. I'm surprised we didn't get a Super Kick Party reference. Very much surprised by that. But Overall, I thought this match was fantastic. I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I thought the
I loved it.
Usos did a great job here. I thought, I was gonna say Steen, Owens and Zayn killed it. I thought there was the great. I just thought it was a great ending with
Yeah,
Jay. You know, we're doing the Jay is going to the corner. Jimmy's not there. Zayn is asking for the hot tag. He gets it. They face off 1-on-1. You know, he does the haluva kick. He looks at him, does it again, does the haluva kick a second time, looks at him again. Jimmy tries to get into the ring. Kevin Owens comes out of nowhere, stuns him, pops him out, and Kevin Owens Sami Zayn is like, "Oh, what? I know what to do." Goes for it a third time. 1, 2, 3. Gets the victory, and we have new tag team champions. I thought this was a great match, top to
yeah,
bottom.
I absolutely love this. This is probably my favorite WrestleMania main event since my most favorite since I don't I maybe have I love Sasha and Bianca, obviously. Um, so maybe I'll consider that in the same conversation. If I was to go further back though, exactly. That's my point. Like I can't think of anything that I thought would be better than this for a very long time. Sasha and Bianca is the only one I could think of that was even in the conversation, and because I thought that was great, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, Jey Uso is very good at doing the Roman shtick
Yep.
that Roman, I think, overplays in his matches
100% agree.
because Jay does a lot more action, right? Like he'll talk, and then he'll absolutely clobber someone with a super kick. And I want to say they were putting in their super kicks. It's not like they were just like super kick. Like there were some kicks that I was like, oh hey.
Mhm.
I thought Sammy and Kevin were fantastic at being an underdog type team, right? And then kind of the way they built the matchup is like they were wrestling a little bit more as singles, and then as the match got on, they were more of a team, right? I thought the kickouts, they had the right drama. Like every time Sammy kicked when he kicked out of the 1D, like that was
Yeah.
great. They
Yes.
built that move up for that moment.
Yes.
That is why that move was built up. That's why you protect finishers, people. Um, yeah, I thought they did an exceptional job. It was a great WrestleMania main event, a great moment when they won. You know, Kevin talking about the Briscoes after. That was a great touch. Yeah, I thought about it in that match. I was like, oh, they can't do the J Driller because it's a pile driver.
Yeah, but
And
I don't
I
care. I
can't
say do it.
imagine one of them doing the Froggy Bow.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I asked for a little too much on that respect, but didn't ruin the match for me,
I think if you
obviously.
if you basically just do like a pedigree and then do the froggy bow, I think we would have gotten it. You know?
Yeah. This either way, I'm okay. You know, they had their own match to tell at the same time, right?
Yes.
Respecting PWG and stuff like that, and they paid their respects in every way they could, and I think you'll never have a tag team match bigger than this in the WWE ever again.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Well, I wouldn't say ever again, but I think
Well, ever again, I mean,
this is
they could live on forever, but
this is easily like the biggest tag team match in wrestling and WWE history since
yeah.
maybe like you know I don't know Savage and Hogan. You
I would
know,
say like Hogan and Mr. T,
yeah. I mean,
like
what
the
WrestleMania 1?
WrestleMania 1,
Yeah,
the main event.
yeah. It's it is unbelievable how much little disrespect they give to the tag team division, and it's unbelievable that there was ever a conversation that they shouldn't have main evented. This is 100% what it should have
Yeah,
been. This is
yeah.
100% they made the right call. It worked
Mhm.
out. Everyone walked home happy. Everyone was fantastic. This was a great match. Um, I thought this was the match of the night for me.
Me too.
And you're right. The level,
Easily my match of the night.
yeah, and that level of respect that they are giving to, you know, it's a very not I'll say this not just because of the comparison, but just because of how the two companies work. It was a very AEW style of storytelling here, which was We are going to include our past. You know, they could talk about, oh, we've teamed in WWE before, and they kind of did, but really what this was we are talking it, throwing all the way back, talking about PWG, talking about Receipt to California. You know, we are throwing it and bringing that history. And to me, as a wrestling fan and not necessarily a sports entertainment fan, I appreciated that, because one of the reasons I like AEW is because it acknowledges the actual history and past of these wrestlers. And I'm glad that they were able to include that weirdly at the last second of the story for these Zayn. Not the last second, it was sort of the impetus of them getting together. But I'm glad they included it as part of their story. And I think for me, it enhanced the match even more.
Yeah, it's because they're cut from the same cloth, right?
Yeah.
Kevin and Sammy are cut from that cloth that made AEW after all.
Correct.
So, like, it shouldn't come as a shock. It shouldn't, right? Because it is WWE. But they've had you felt the hands-on approach by Sammy from the beginning, right? You know he's told a lot of this story or helped tell a lot of the story.
Yeah.
And you know, I thought the craziest thing to me, right, when it was over, it was like I remember when Sammy didn't win the world title, right? And everyone was like, "Oh, it was a terrible decision, blah blah blah." They made it work. They made it work. They made it feel like they made the right decision.
Yeah.
At the end of this, and that's good on them. They have told one story, and I think this is why they call it an all-time story for WWE. It's because they don't do this.
No.
Right? That's why the Bloodline story is so good. It's because they don't do this stuff. And at least we have one. This wasn't finishing the story. Finishing the stories tonight. But it was great. I'm happy, and I think Kevin and Sammy should have a good little reign. No matter. And by the way, they should never not have one tag title again. One tag title, by the way, is perfect.
Yeah.
Just combine them, give them one big belt, and let's call it a day.
Yes. I have a feeling, by the way, it's very interesting. And I think we'll talk about this a lot more on Friday. But I think it's very interesting the direction the champions are going towards in terms of who's holding the titles.
Work rate, baby.
Not just work rate, but like those guys that are cut from that like AEW cloth. Cody, Sammy, Kevin, Gunta, even. We'll extend an olive branch to Gunta. Like especially those three guys, like it is like fascinating that like they're going that direction in terms of booking. I mean, we'll find out tonight if they are formally going that direction. You know, tonight is going to be a huge booking moment for the company. But
can't wait to call it the greatest Roman Reigns match of all time, even if it stinks. As long as Cody wins,
yeah, baby.
I'm gonna be so over the top with whatever my rating is if Cody wins, and it's getting a dud if he loses. There's no in between tonight. Finish the story. Tony Khan let you do this. He didn't finish any stories this weekend because he's letting Cody finish his story. I tweeted that out and people got mad at me. It was great.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We finished
WrestleMania. That's WWE. Oh wait, no, we're coming back to.
We're back on the WWE train, baby. Night 2. I'm watching Night 2. This got me excited for Night 2.
I didn't. No. That's not what I was talking about. WWE wise, I meant the other WWE show that's already happened.
We'll get there. Let's talk about
the opposite of WrestleMania Night 1.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get to the WrestleMania weekend shows. We'll be talking about Thursday, then we'll talk about that other WWE show that happened on Saturday, and then we'll talk about the Friday matches that were shows that we did see. We won't necessarily go match by match unless it's like a bigger show, I think, like obviously Supercard of Honor, like Stand and Deliver. I would maybe argue the Impact show. We can go match by match. But otherwise, I think we'll just go through, just sort of give our vague thoughts about specific moments in the show that we liked, that we didn't like, that we want to bring up, various talking points that we have about these various shows. So let's start off with the first one that I have written down here, which is Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 9. Of course, out of the Ukrainian Culture Center. What did you think overall, Scotty, of this show?
Oh, folks, I am not a big blood sport guy.
Mm-hmm.
Grappling isn't my cup of tea.
Nah.
Grappling's only good if it's like, oh, I don't know, a Katsuyori Shibata display per se. I don't know why. It just came to my mind.
Yeah. A Zack
Um,
Sabre Jr., if you will.
Zack Sabre Jr. Yes, like things like that.
An American Dragon.
Blood sport's at its best, in my opinion, when people are just throwing bombs and it gets bloody and stuff like that.
Agreed. Striking.
So
Yeah, striking.
by default, I only watched 3 matches. Because I couldn't get myself to watch much more
Mm-hmm.
than that.
And I'll tell you,
Uh,
Scotty, the more was all grapple fuck, baby.
Yay! So what I watched, folks, was Kota Ibushi versus Speedball Mike Bailey, because I obviously,
Obviously.
John Moxley versus Alex Coughlin,
Mm-hmm.
and Josh Barnett versus Timothy Thatcher. I enjoyed Kota Ibushi and Speedball. It's not the full Kota Ibushi experience that I think we all wait. By the way, I want to say this because we're gonna get to it later. GCW and the way they film their shows and the way they have sound couldn't fit Kota Ibushi less if they tried. I can't hear any of his strikes. I can't hear any of the stuff that makes Kota Ibushi great. And I was so angry in his second match of this weekend. And I'll get to that.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed him in Speedball, like him doing the deadlift suplex and stuff like that. I was like, oh, so your shoulder's not actually hurt, you liar. But thank you for trying to cast some doubt.
Yeah, baby.
He looks physically, he looks great. Obviously, he's Kota Ibushi.
He's so much skinnier. He's so much lighter. What was it on night the second match he had with Janela at Spring Break? They announced him at 90 kilos, and I was like, "Whoa, he's a junior now!" Like what?
Yeah, he's back to junior weight.
Yeah,
It's very noticeable, which is probably his more comfortable weight, truthfully.
sure.
Because he looked good. He definitely looks smaller though. But I know these two have a better non-blood sport match in them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I think you and me can both agree to that.
Yeah. I think this match didn't have. It did not. This match was, I thought, pretty good. It wasn't blow away the great that I wanted to have. It wasn't like super grapply or anything, but it also didn't have enough.
It was quick.
It was quick. It didn't have enough striking that I would have hoped. I think
Yeah.
it had the level of striking that you would expect in a normal Ibushi Mike Bailey match. It was just okay. They did the striking, and then what would make them also great is if there was ropes and turnbuckles and stuff. That was that the blood sport aspect caused this match to be somewhat of a letdown for me.
Sure.
I would, if they amped the strikeage, maybe we could have gotten there for me, but they didn't quite get there for me personally. For me it was just
I
slightly
know I liked it
disappointing
more
with
than
the
you,
Yes.
but at the same time, I would have just liked if this was his regular match of the weekend.
I agree. If you did like this is going to be weird. I mean,
Because they had good parts that I was like, oh, if this was a real non-blood sport match, it would have
Yes.
been fantastic. Like you said, it would have been great with ropes.
100%. And if they did that, I would have been more into it. I was just sort of like, that was fine. Like, again, if they did like murder Ibushi from the get-go and that was the entire match, that would have been, I think, great. But they didn't do that because they were trying to showcase Ibushi again, and this was his first match. I think if this also wasn't his first match, maybe it could have helped. If his first match was
No,
I was gonna say if his first match
No.
versus Janela, but also I don't think
don't
that's
get me
the case.
started.
But if his first match, if Ibushi's first match was like a normal wrestling match, then maybe it could have actually been maybe the Bloodsport one could have come off a little bit better, but I don't know.
Yeah. I will say by the end of this week, I was like, well, Ibushi still has it. He just needs the right opponents.
He has something. I don't think he has. I don't know. I don't think he has.
I don't think he was full on Ibushi either. I don't think he tried as much as he would say in a big spot.
I don't think he has top of his game New Japan Ibushi. I think.
Well, that's asking for a lot right off.
Well, I'm asking for a guy to come back from injury who was injured, who's been healthy for quite a while, to have a great match. That's all I'm asking.
Allegedly.
I'm asking for a Wrestle Observer Hall of Famer to have a great match. I don't think that's too much to ask while he's still in the prime of his life.
In the circumstances of who he was wrestling, I think it's too much to ask.
That's
in
fair.
The scenarios.
That's fair. That is fair.
If it was Speedball versus him on Spring Break and it wasn't a great match, then I get it.
Yes. But that lack of striking, by the way, is like, that was, I joked about it first, but that was sort of an overall thing. I watched this entire show. That Harry Smith, Jared Kratos match, you would expect a lot of striking. No, they did grappling. You would expect a lot of striking, maybe. And Bad Tito and Yuya Uemura, no, it was mostly grappling. Tankman and Hammer, it's a guy named Hammer. No, it was all grappling. It was just a lot of, it was too much.
I like Mox and Cog.
It was the most grapple fuck blood sport I've seen in quite a while. I thought Moxley and Cog was good. Thatcher and Barnett I thought was pretty good too. I was shocked.
That was a good grapple.
That was a good grapple.
That's what they do.
I was shocked by the result. Legitimately shocked to have Thatcher win and beat Barnett. I want to talk about a match that I was shocked by, and I know you're never going to watch it. And this isn't really like an actual recommendation.
The way you tried to sell me on it was like hilarious, because like I'm very tempted, but at the same time I can't do it. Well,
I'm not necessarily trying to sell people on it. It's just, it's one of those things of like, man, you got to watch this match and just see someone get super exposed and get super just utterly destroyed in not in just like, oh, they got out they got destroyed by their offensive. No, they got like outworked, out wrestled, like showcased as like they are not a serious threat, just utterly exposed. And that was, of course, the Killer Kelly Marina Shafir match. There are so many moments in this match, Scotty, where Killer Kelly seemed legitimately scared of Marina Shafir. She looked like a fish out of water. There were moments where her eyes are super wide and she's scared of the moves that are happening. She looked so out of it, and it exposed her, I thought, so much that now, to be fair, I didn't think Killer Kelly was a great wrestler to begin with. I thought she was fine. She can have a good match. I saw this and I was like, she's got nothing. She's destroyed. I never want to see her wrestle again. Marina Shafir utterly decimated her in a way that made Killer Kelly looked unbelievably out of her depth, especially for someone named Killer Kelly. She okay. I don't know if I should say this. This is my true indictment of how I feel about Killer Kelly. She is the female Joe Hendry. That is my indictment of Killer Kelly. All flash, zero substance.
He doesn't believe in Joe Hendry or Killer Kelly.
That's a tag team I never want to see. But yeah, it was unbelievable how much of that. And I just wanted to talk about it because it was insane. I watched. That's what I mean. It's like you have to watch it in the sense of like unbelievable, like, oh my god, just utterly destruction of an entire character live on my television.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Sorry.
Next match, the next show. Is there anything else you want to talk about from Bloodsport? I don't really think there
is.
I thought it was
John Moxley's good.
I thought it was an okay show. John Moxley was good. Alex Coughlin, I thought, stepped up.
That was like to me, that was the match with the least grapple fuck.
Yeah.
That wasn't Speedball and Coda's like 5-minute exhibition.
Yes. Weirdly, I'll say this also. Weirdly, I don't think weirdly, but I thought what also was a good grapple fuck was Bloodsport, Johnny Bloodsport and Royce Isaacs. I thought that was actually a pretty good grapple fuck. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I thought they did a fairly good job with
Johnny Bloodsport out here balling.
Yeah, baby.
I just saw his shorts, so I was like, nope, can't do it.
That's fair. Let's move on to the next show, Hitchcock Memorial Show. This is the WrestleCon Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show, taking place at the Globe Theater Scotty, were you able to hear these shows at the Globe Theater? No, you weren't able to hear the Globe Theater.
Hear them?
Yes.
Yeah, I could hear them.
I was trying to set you up for discussion about why the sound of the Globe Theater.
Oh,
was really better.
sorry.
God,
You got me.
set him up.
You gave me the soft toss, and I swung and missed. Yeah. So
I set him up, and you Brutus Creed all over my transition here, and by that I mean you airballed.
Yeah, sure did. So the Globe Theater was so much better mic'd. So it was all the high spot. It was all the WrestleCon shows that did the Globe Theater,
and the Impact New Japan show as well. If I'm not mistaken,
yes,
right?
yes, which I believe was technically part of WrestleCon, but not, but was, but wasn't, but wasn't, but was.
Yeah.
Like they sounded so much better. And watching, and I didn't get to watch all this show because I just needed a break yesterday. I was like, all right, I found the limit. I need an hour before WrestleMania to not watch something.
Yeah.
But like I thought this show was really well mic'd. TJPW had like the best crowd of the weekend.
We'll talk about that. That was a very fun show.
Which made the show like 10 times better by default.
Yes. We'll have a whole conversation about crowds in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, Los Angeles, you let me down for a lot of this week. Yikes.
There was a decent crowd at this one, I thought. There was a couple matches.
Yeah, Globe Theater had good crowds, too.
Globe Theater had good crowds. I thought the Tokyo Joshi Pro crowd was fantastic. I thought the Impact crowd was fine. This crowd was pretty good. Yeah, because it wasn't just that they showed like they sounded great, they were mic'd well, but then the crowd was into it. The crowd was mostly into what they were watching. There was some stuff where it took a little bit, but I pretty much enjoyed everything that we got. I think the crowd woke up a little bit with Blake Christian and Michael Oku to start. Then they slept a little bit during the next Kenta, Brian Keith, Daniels, Tom Lawler match. Slept a little bit, kind of into it, the Dragon Negro Casas match, and then that Lucha 6-man, Aramis, Ray Horus, and Galeno Del Mal versus Arez, Laredo Kid, and Latigo. That match kicked ass, baby. I'll tell you this much. Both Lucha matches on this show, the AAA Mega Title match, the Triple Threat main event, both of those matches kicked ass on the show. 100% show matches of the night here.
This is my surprise face that Lucha ruled the weekend. Lucha was phenomenal this week. The Galeno Del Mal, this is my motherfucking guy.
Yes.
I watched that match. It was the last match I watched, and I was like, all right, I need to take a break.
Can I don't know if
he's Dr. Wagner Jr.'s brother.
I know, but I don't know if this is too early to say this. This is the first match I've seen this guy, and maybe I want to see something about it.
You're going to call him?
No. Him is, of course, Carmelo Hayes. This guy, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he could be like the Walter of Lucha.
I kind of love it.
It's mostly the size. Don't get me wrong. It's mostly the size.
He is a fridge. I called him a tank yesterday. This man is a literal tank, and he's doing topes.
Yeah,
but he's also like quick.
Yes,
in that like he did like one. I think he did like a turnover knee on the ground at one point. I was like, whoa, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah,
this guy could be something. I don't know how I'm just hearing about him.
Yes,
but holy, I like him.
If he gets the proper training and proper momentum, like legitimately, it's like Walter was like that of Europe. This guy could be like the Walter maybe of Lucha Wrestling in terms of.
How old is he? He's 31. So he's still young.
This is a huge guy that can do stuff that will blow your mind. Not in the sense of like he's gonna be slapping, chopping, and all that stuff. That was undoubtedly a Rez for some reason. Chopping people up a storm. That was Latigo for some reason. But the things he's able to do, just like I see him, and he's like, he's got it's the Walter Andre sort of like presence of like, holy shit, who the hell is that guy? And it makes you immediately interested in what he's doing, and immediately invested in what that guy's doing.
Oh, I forgot he did great.
He did do great, and I want to go watch now. When I saw good things about that match, and now I'm like, well, I guess I got to go hunt down that match and find it.
That's like the only place you can find his stuff. So interesting thing about him. He started his career in December 2018 with one match. He had one match. So really, he's only a 4-year veteran.
He's
just
counting pandemic of AAA or whatever. I don't know, what is he wrestling in? Does he?
He's wrestling in IWRG.
Okay,
which I think people should give him a bigger spot after this weekend.
Yeah,
he has done AAA before though.
Okay, has he? Okay, but he's done like one or two. He's done a couple spots in AAA.
I need more of him.
Yes, I think this was. We'll talk about MVPs of the weekend. But I thought this was like not necessarily an MVP spot, but this was like a guy that's like coming out of this weekend where it's like, I want to see more of this guy. Yeah, he needs to be booked more.
I don't think there was enough of those.
No, I think put him on Dark, put him on Dynamite. I don't care. Do something with him.
Yeah. Let's get Galeno Demal cooking here.
Let's get him cooking. Let's just do the tag team.
We don't get enough beefy guys.
No, have they done a tag team? I assume of him and his brother.
Noah, what are you doing?
Oh, here we go. Ready for this? He's in a stable. Did not know this, and I'm sure our Lucha fans are hating me for this. He's in a stable in Mexico called the Golden Guns. Who would like to know who's in the Golden Guns? No, you were not a part of the Golden Guns.
I thought you said. I'm pretty sure you said who wants to know.
Oh, I said, do you want to know?
Guns.
But sure, yeah.
Of course I do.
So we had, of course, Galeno Demal,
my guy.
We have Bandito,
my guy.
We have Bandito's brother, if I'm not mistaken, Gravity,
my guy. I don't know.
We have Rey Horus, and Commander. That's the faction. Apparently,
I'm gonna give a call to Tony Khan. Bring the Golden Guns to the show.
They're a Big Lucha, which, if I'm not mistaken, Big Lucha, that is Bandito's. Yeah, that's Bandito's company. They are a faction of part of Big Lucha, and holy shit, I gotta hunt down some matches here. You got anything? Anything else in the Hitchcock show that you want to talk about while I look into the Golden Guns? I was gonna say
discography. The main event was good, right? I didn't watch any of it, so I can't say much.
The main event of the Hitchcock show?
The main event was good.
Main event was great. Main event was fantastic. I went.
That's not shocking.
I went 4.
How could it have been bad?
Yeah, it had what I thought was great about the Commander Vikingo Supercard match, plus Taurus. So, pretty good.
Can't see that being a bad thing.
Can't see that being bad at all.
Potentially better.
I would argue. I think I maybe said better.
They were both great.
I said the same. I gave them both 4s. But yeah, no, that main event was fantastic. What matches did you see from the show?
Literally just the Daniels, Lawler, Kenta, Keith, and then the Trios match. So I didn't get to don't get to give my shots on the Tokyo Joshi Pro showcase. Unfortunately, I apologize, folks. I didn't see my boy Irie wrestle yet. Haven't seen him wrestle once.
There is a Copa the beginning cup for Big Lucha
this guy's still looking for this. Oh my god.
Galley / Galley. This is a bunch of people I've never heard of, but a team of Bandino, Rey Horus, and Galeno Demal. So I mean, okay, we'll go watch that match.
Anyways, back on track. We don't have time to look for Galeno Demal matches.
I have all the time in the world to look for Galeno Demal matches.
What was next? DDT?
Is there anything else from Hitchcock you want to talk about? Did you like the Tokyo Joshi showcase match?
I didn't watch anything besides 2. I just said I didn't watch it. God, I can tell you're so locked in on Galeno Demal, you don't even know I'm here.
Who? DDT goes Hollywood. I watched everything from the Higuchi tag to the main event, which I thought were pretty good.
I watched the Higuchi tags. I don't know if this is everything. Saki Kai and Vert Vixen, Jun Akiyama and Eddie Kingston, and then Konosuke versus Yuki Ueno.
So you skipped the Janela Endo match.
Yep. You know why?
Why is that?
It's Joey Janela stinks.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst match of the group. It was middle of the road.
Well, I mean, Saki Kai and Vert Vixen was like 2 seconds. To be fair.
Yeah.
So.
What do you think? What do you think of those matches?
I was not shocked that Konosuke Takeshita and Yuki Ueno showed out.
That was great. That was
because they're excellent. They're a tag team. Well, they were. I mean, Konosuke's not in DDT anymore, so they're not really a team anymore. But that was easily my match of the show. I thought seeing Eddie with June was great. That was a lot of fun.
Nice little match too. Yeah.
Very basic match. And then Takeshi Masada and Nick Wayne need to have a match when Nick Wayne heads to DDT.
Agreed.
Takeshi Masada has started wrestling within the past year.
Yeah. He doesn't even have a cage match. I'm looking at it.
Nope. He's brand new. He is the Takeshita chosen one.
Yeah. He has something. He has that Nick Wayne. He has something energy about him. So I would love to see them mix it up too in DDT. The Endo Janela match I thought was, that was totally fine too. There was some stuff in there that Endo, I love Endo. He's a great look. There's stuff in there.
I can't always do Endo matches because sometimes he's really boring.
Oh, damn.
He does like such amazing things, but like sometimes he like just tosses me a stinker once in a while. I'm like, what the hell, man? Where'd that come from?
This wasn't maybe. Well, I haven't seen enough of Endo to say something. I didn't necessarily think this was a stinker. It might be a stinker.
I saw how long it was, and I was like, nope,
15 minutes.
Not doing it.
That's fair. Yeah. After a 28-minute Ibushi Janela match, you want to give the old pass. I don't blame you. But that Takeshita Ueno match, that was great. I loved that match. I watched it this morning.
One of the best indie show matches of the week.
I was about to say this is like probably the best. Maybe I have to think it over. Maybe the best match on Fight Plus from the weekend. I was gonna say
you might be right.
I was gonna say the GCW week match of the weekend, but it was technically.
Let me agree with you. I agree with you.
Perfect.
I just checked real quick.
Yeah, I'll say the Fight Plus match of the weekend. Easily. This is,
shocked.
If you want to spend, $10 on a match, this is what you're getting. This is a great match. Definitely go out of your way to try to watch this, especially if you have Fight Plus. Do not sleep on that match.
To catch the baby.
Let's talk about the New Japan Impact show. The Multiverse United, only the strong survive. Let's talk about that match. That show. So they open up with we'll go match by match here fairly quickly. We have the countdown to open it up. We have Gabriel Kidd versus Yuya Uemura. Of course, I want to talk about this match because I thought it was really good. I thought Kidd and Uemura showed out. I love seeing Kidd. I think he is a fantastic wrestler. And I thought these two just worked very well together at a short little 8-minute match here. Just hard hitting, good action. I think Yuya Uemura is he the mystery man in New Japan? I don't know. He tweeted out that he's leaving the dojo or whatever, but I feel like he's left the dojo multiple times now. So I don't know, but I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good opener.
Yeah, that was a good way to kind of make someone buy a show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, here's the type of action you can get. I knew this would be good, so I wasn't like shocked that these two had a nice little opening match here. I like both of them a lot. Mm-hmm. I've sung the praises of Gabriel Kidd on this before. The fact that him and Eddie Kingston are going head to head again gets me very excited.
Yeah, baby.
Because I love that match. Yeah. But yeah, you look good. He won with a diving crossbody.
Ooh, I don't know if you saw this, but this just in. The Tony Khan announcement has been updated from important to very important.
Isn't it just going to be the third show?
Probably. It's probably going to be the third show. But still, we went from important to very important.
Well, I will say, I guess there's no other better place to toss this in. We're on Jay White watch, folks. We
We
are
are. You are
officially on Jay White watch. If he doesn't show up today, and if he doesn't show up Monday, that man, I think, is all elite.
Yeah, baby.
So for all of you at home watching, watching
Mm-hmm.
and hoping
Mm-hmm.
that Jay White goes one place or the other, this is the time. I'm basically very concerned.
Yep.
Because
I'm sure Jay White is too if he's going to WWE.
there's not enough reports about Jay White not going to WWE.
Yeah.
There's only reports that he might be.
Yes.
Which ultimately makes me think that in the end he will. But hey, we're gonna see. If he's gonna debut, it has to be today or tomorrow.
Yes.
No other time will make sense for him.
Yes.
That's why I think it's coming. It's coming or it's not. End story.
And you bring it up at the important announcement Tony Khan thing because it's not uncommon for Tony Khan's announcements to be signings.
No. And the Ricky Starks Juice feud continues on Wednesday. It's been set up.
That match happens to be on this Wednesday with the important announcement, and that feud happened to start with the Bullet Club logo and a little fake out. So I don't know. That feud and how it was set up was weird to me, and that was a flag in my brain. But maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just the show. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. Next match. The scramble match for the X Division title. This is Trey Miguel is able to successfully defend his title against Rocky Romero, Frankie Kazarian, Rich Swann, Clark Connors, and Kevin Knight. I thought this was also a pretty good match. I like the finish here of Clark Connors almost getting the victory, but Trey Miguel scooping it up at the very end. Of Clark Connors getting the spear, and then Trey Miguel, throwing around the ring and pinning whoever it was. I thought it was pretty good. Nice multi-man action. Of the multi-man matches on this show, which there were a lot of them, this was my favorite by far. I thought it was
Tell
pretty
me if you've heard this before. This was not my favorite multi-man match.
Have I heard that before? Then no.
No, my favorite was the match I expected to actually be my favorite. So, favorite overall match. But this was fine. Clark Connors showed out again because that's what he does. He does it every time he gets an opportunity. And I thought Kevin Knight looked good too. That's about it.
Yeah. One half of what was it, the jet streakers? That's not right. Jet setters? That's
I don't know. They're fighting Catch 22.
Jet Set Radio? That's something
they announced today. They're fighting Catch 22.
Yeah, they're announcing a bunch of matches. Is it at the Collision shows?
I have no idea.
Perfect.
Makes sense.
It would make sense. Next match was the weird multi-man of a bunch of people that were available. Alex Coughlin, Callahan, Fred Rosser, and PCO versus JR Kratos, Tom Lawler, Eddie Edwards, and Joe Hendry.
I was stupidly entertained. I don't know why. Maybe it's because JR Kratos did a dive and PCO almost killed himself. And
Alex Coughlin threw JR Kratos across the ring.
Yeah, that's probably why I had so much fun. And I had low expectations. So that always helps.
That's true. I share a similar sentiment. Plus, it got Eddie Edwards and Kenta backstage, and now we have a match between the two at a Collision show.
GHC heavyweight champions, baby.
Yeah, baby. Jeff Cobb versus Moose. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good.
A little let down.
Little let down. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was good. Some heavy meat going around over here.
Yeah, it's heavy meat. I think Moose should learn how to fucking put something into a strike.
All right, that's fair.
He's like
he's been working a lot of flip do stuff recently, so
he's like tapping Cobb and like hit him. If you're gonna hit him harder. Like actually do it.
Yeah.
That pissed me off a little, but it was good. It was good. Just I expected more.
All right, that's fair. I think that's totally.
I've seen Moose have great showings against like Ishii and stuff like that on these types of shows. So maybe I let myself down thinking it, but I don't know. Jeff Cobb's really good. Why would I think he could have done it with Jeff Cobb? I guess.
Yeah, I mean Jeff Cobb is no Ishii. To be fair.
No, but I mean I'm talking about strikes here. Am I not? And Ishii throws harder strikes. So like, what the hell?
That's true. That is true. Next match, the 4-way for the number one contenders for the upcoming women's title match at Rebellion. Miyu Yamashita versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Giselle Shaw versus Masha Slamovich. It was Deonna Purrazzo that ended up getting the victory. I would have loved
right.
if
What
they.
matters is I was right.
Yes, that you called Deonna as the a smart decision. You and I both hoped that Yamashita could have gotten the win because why not? Just do it, book her. She's here. But no, they went with the safe, obvious choice of Deonna, especially if seeing that this was potentially replacing as a champion makes sense for Deonna.
Yeah. You know this match reminded me?
What's that?
That Deonna Purrazzo was very good.
Yeah, she's good.
It's been a while since I've been reminded that Deonna Purrazzo is like good. And no offense to Mickie James, but this match was better with Masha than it would have been with Mickie. Just the truth. Sorry. I thought Miyu looked good. Obviously, she flashed her strikes really well in there.
I thought Masha was a good job. Did a good job.
Masha did great. I thought Giselle did good too.
Yep.
I think everyone did. Clicked their role perfectly. Obviously, we
Giselle Shaw is way better than. Every time I see her, I'm like, man, she's way better than I remember her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. By the way, good time to say we support Giselle Shaw after the shit that she had to deal with this week.
Yeah.
Just want to put that out there while we're sitting here talking about it, because otherwise she may not come up in the conversation. But good 4-way, good 4-way, and like I said, Deonna was a smart choice. You put your longtime ace back in the world title picture when you need her most. So
pretty good match. Fuck Rick Steiner.
Bingo.
Moving on to the next match. The multi-man tag team match here: Ace Austin and Chris Bay versus Bad Dude Tito and Shane Hayes versus Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. It was the Bullet Club. Ace Austin and Chris Bay that able to retain their titles. I thought this was good.
This was my favorite match of the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Why is
Which
that?
Maybe speaks to I was let down elsewhere. But I don't know. I just thought everyone clicked really well. I thought like the weakest part of this match, in quotes, because I don't think they're weak, but the TMDK team I thought did really well.
Yeah.
That Bad Dude Tito had a good showing. Motor City Machine Guns were stellar. Aussie were great. Bullet Club was great. Like I just had a good time. Like it was fast, compact, did everything it was supposed to do. I walked away happy. Also walked away saying I need to see Aussie open against everyone from now on.
Yes.
That's pretty much where I am now. I think Aussie Open might be the best tag team in the world right now, truthfully. I think they're so untouchable every time they step in a tag match.
I agree.
Which makes me sad that I don't think their match with the Young Bucks was as great as it would be if it was like more meaningful than, hey, let's just toss this on Rampage.
Agreed.
But yeah, I thought this was really good.
Yeah, I think Aussie Open are fantastic. I love them so much. I think they were my if I remember correctly, they were my tag team of the year last year. I think their work rate, the dynamic between the two wrestlers themselves, of Fletcher and Davis, and which showcased even more in the New Japan Cup, is fantastic. Their chemistry is fantastic. Their move sets are fantastic. Their work schedule makes me I see them popping up everywhere, and I'm liking every single match I'm seeing them in. I just think they're undoubtedly, for me right now, the tag team of today, undoubtedly, and it's just a matter of time for them to get the proper recognition that I think they deserve. It's just a matter of when that will be. If not last year, I don't know when it's going to be, but
perhaps Saturday.
Perhaps Saturday. Oh, this upcoming Saturday. Sakura Genesis.
For the belts.
For some reason, I thought you were talking about like yesterday, and I was like, "What? What happened?
What? Who? Huh?
They show up at WrestleMania. Oh no!
They have big matches coming up. They have this, and then they have the New Japan Strong Tag Title match, which is silly.
Yes. Next match was Kushida versus a guy who originally said he was injured for the weekend.
He just didn't want to wrestle in GCW.
Yeah, we all know the truth. Versus Leo Rush. What do you think of this match?
I enjoyed it. I wish the crowd was better.
Yes.
This was the match where I was like, the Impact crowd is showing, and it's really angering me right now.
Not just the Impact crowd, but this was also what? This is starting to get into. I was going to say starting to get into late night for us. Them. I don't know what time it was, but they after all the multi-mans, I think they were starting to get tired out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the last show of the day, stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I thought they had really good work in there. Leo Rush is on fire. I thought Kushida looked good. I just always like to say though, Kushida has worse matches when he's not wearing the time machine shorts. When
Agreed.
he's wearing those tights, I get a little angry. I'm like, "Ugh."
The little trunks
Yeah, the trunks equals NXT Kushida, and it,
doesn't quite work.
still good though.
Still good. New Japan Strong openweight title match: Kenta versus Minoru Suzuki. I thought this was two great. This was two great Japanese workers working their American styles together.
Yep, sure were. Sure were. We got a little fun in there when they started just slapping the piss out of each other's mouths.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, this is what we got. We got old school Kenta for a second.
Yep.
We got a lot of new school Kenta.
Yep.
And we got Minoru Suzuki in America. So take that for what you will. It'll never be a bad match. It'll never be a great match.
Correct. We are at that point in Suzuki's career where he is not having great matches. He's having good matches, which is fine. I'll take it.
And that's okay.
I'll take it.
It's like 50 something. I don't care.
And the main event, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Mike Bailey. Of course, this was supposed to be Ospreay at one point, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi popped up, and I thought he did a very good job. It wasn't what I was necessarily maybe hoping for in a match between these two. I think the Ospreay match would have been way better. Borderline great, probably better than great. I don't know. It could have been the match of the weekend. I don't know. But I thought this was a pretty good match, and I think Tanahashi did a very good job. And Mike Bailey did a very good job against Tanahashi.
Yeah. So when I'm gonna have my conversation about Speedball now?
Okay. Yeah. You told me that you had a surprise Speedball take for me, and
yeah.
I'm
So
nervous now.
he's only ever gets to the level of great when he wrestles a very specific opponent. I've decided he isn't in the Osprey realm. To me, he can't be in the best in the world realm, because if he's wrestling a more rounded guy like a Tanahashi or someone of that magnitude,
Mm-hmm.
he's not going to get to the highest level because his match style doesn't fit theirs at all. Right? It happens a lot. I've noticed this a lot in his matches. He'll get his leg worked on and it won't matter. And that's not something I usually give a shit about, but when I've seen it about 55 times, it starts to all right.
Now his formula is becoming really formulaic.
Yeah, oh, look, he hit the moonsault. Oh, look, he hit the thing on the apron. Oh, look, it's things like that. Maybe that's why I like the Coda match so much, because it wasn't at all his usual format. And I think Speedball is a great wrestler. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I think he's a great wrestler. Just he's not in that best of the world conversation, because I don't think he can bring the best out of maybe someone you may see lower than him. And this match was like, all right, Tanahashi's older. I know that.
Yeah.
This was also Tanahashi's best match of the week. I'll say that too, because I did not like the match with Daniel Garcia all that much. I thought it was fine, aggressively fine, which is shocking because I did think that was going to be better. But Tanahashi's knees looked like they were fucking wrecked in that show. He looked rough.
Yeah.
But with Speedball, and I watched so many Speedball matches this week, so I feel like I walk away saying this. It's it really just depends on his opponent and to get the best version of Speedball Mike Bailey. Because if you have someone that's not going to work his leg, then the match is just going to click better.
Yeah.
Because if someone wastes their entire offense taking this guy's leg out just for him to do all his stuff, it's like, okay, well, there was no point.
Yeah.
And some matches he has, so I've watched him sell it well. It's just not all matches, and maybe that's a me problem. It
No,
could be a me.
I don't think that's a you problem at all. He's had like a match where he sold the leg well in like Impact. I think one of those Trent
Yeah,
matches, he's done a good job in that. I think it was the Hard to Kill one.
maybe it's his indie matches where he does this more.
I think part of what you're talking about in terms of like the formula becoming obvious is that like last year was such a showcase for Mike Bailey, and he was undoubtedly the MVP, and then he ultimately became the indie wrestler of the year.
From that performance
alone, he got him a lot of votes. But I think like that was a year ago, and we've seen a year of Mike Bailey showcase matches and impact matches and different things. At a certain point, we have reached the point of okay, I know how this guy works. He needs to get to the next thing, and I don't think Mike Bailey has gotten to the next thing, whatever that next thing is. I do think the Ospreay thing could have brought that out of him.
Yes,
I think Ibushi
absolutely.
brought a little bit of that out of him in a different way.
I think the Ospreay style fits him better.
Agreed. 100% agreed. It is, and that's what he needs to figure out. He needs to work with a guy like Ospreay, I think, to get him to the next level of how I can evolve my style a little bit to become more main event worthy. I think at the end of the day, last week I said that after the whole Impact debacle that maybe Mike Bailey should be their title holder, and maybe after this weekend I'm like, I don't know, I don't necessarily know if he has main event level yet. I think he's lost some momentum a little bit after this weekend in a weird way, after having a schedule that is undoubtedly anyone would be jealous to have. I just think and to be fair, he also was wrestling some of the best wrestlers and wrestled 3 of them in like a 4-hour period. So he was probably super tired and all that stuff, but don't wrestle all those matches. Have great matches.
Yeah. Right. Don't do 10 in 3 days. Do 5.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I understand why he does it, and I appreciate him.
It's also like, when are you going to wrestle Hiroshi Tanahashi ever again?
Yeah, exactly. Like, or Ospreay.
Yeah.
Like, it was Ospreay originally, so there's my point. Like, I think he had some good matches, but nothing reached the level that I think he reached so many times last year.
Yes.
And maybe that's just because of kind of what we said, which is what my whole point was, is that he's very good, if not great, but he's also not a best in the world candidate to me.
No.
Until he makes the next step.
I think the next step, hopefully, maybe, is him. He's already been announced for one of the Collision shows in like a multi-man tag. I think him trying to work more New Japan dates, maybe talking about that Ospreay stuff. I think maybe that could help him change his craft a little bit.
Put him in the Super Juniors.
Yeah, I think that would be a great use of his ability. I think that would be a good way to get him some more stuff, because I think he does need something new, and I don't think Impact is a good spot for him in the States, but it's not something that will evolve him creatively or evolve him wrestling art wise or whatever. He just needs something. He just needs a new thing, a new arrow in his quiver, basically.
Yes. Needs to be challenged.
Yeah. Let us talk about. Let's hold on. Let me adjust. Let me adjust my monitor here. And then we'll go up here. We got Scotty. You're gonna join me. You're gonna join me up here. You're gonna join me up here.
Going?
I'm standing to deliver our review on NXT Stand and Deliver. For whatever reason, I linked the wrong link, and I have Gringo Locos, the World of Lucha on here. Let me see if I can find the NXT show. Stand and Deliver. I'll ask you, Scotty, were you a stand and deliver for this show?
I don't even know how to respond to that, but either way, the answer is probably no.
Were you a stan and deliver for this show?
I don't even know how to answer this.
I'll answer it for you. This show fucking sucked.
Yeah, this show was a clunker.
I'm sure
they had some decisions that were not good.
I gotta adjust myself. This
show fucking sucked.
This show sucked ass. And I don't care if you're dropping in this show for the first time because it's like, oh, WrestleMania and all that stuff. I appreciate it. I would love for you to stay. But we're also here to give you our honest thoughts. I despise this show. I despise and I hate. We talk about formulaic wrestling. There is nothing more formulaic than NXT right now. We weren't planning on talking about this goddamn pay-per-view, but Scotty and I, for whatever reason, had freak time and decided to watch it. And it was awful. It was so bad. There wasn't, let me look at my notes. Let me look at my match ratings. Can I say this for sure? Yeah. There was only one good match on this show. One. Maybe two, if you want to argue the Dragon Lee match. Well, argue the Dragon Lee match? The show stunk. Stinky poopy. This show I never want to see. You can write that on, put that on a t-shirt.
How do I put my thoughts into so here's the official problem with NXT. I'm going to tell everyone the problem with the current NXT.
And it's not, and we'll tell you now, it's not Marina Shafir.
It's Michael Hickenbottom. But I'll tell you the problem in the way they lay out their shows. For some fucking reason, they felt the need to get everyone on this goddamn show. And thus, you leave almost every match set up to fucking suck.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, folks.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah. When you put almost all your good wrestlers into one match and it doesn't stand and deliver, you fucks, it's because you shouldn't be doing it in the first place. You know what would have been really good, Ryan?
What?
If you had Dragon Lee versus Wesley.
Yes.
You know what would have been really good, Ryan? If you did Ilya Dragunov and Axiom. You know what would have been really good, Ryan? If Jamie McDonough went and fucked himself because he fucking blows. You know what would have been really good, Ryan? If Roxanne Perez had a normal fucking match. That would have been fucking good. I just shut everything. I don't even know what happened. I think I broke my computer. Oh,
You're still here. Don't worry about it.
But you know what you could have done? You could have had real matches. But no. We gotta fit everyone in because everyone's gotta stand and deliver. You. Not you.
No, I know.
NXT's upset me.
Okay. Every match. And let me talk to you. Scotty, let me talk to you. This style of booking, and it's a WWE style of booking, and it happened at WrestleMania for a couple matches. You already mentioned that there's some matches that have NXT-isms, and it's really, ultimately, it's shitty WWE booking, but that's all NXT is. Every match in NXT, and every match, and a lot of matches in WWE, in order to protect every single person, and not do a clean finish, like the John Cena Austin Theory stuff, but it's not just doing like weird stuff or whatever, or low blows or whatever. It is especially bad in NXT. And what I'm trying to say is that in NXT, match results do not happen until something from outside the match itself takes place. Want to know what those things are? It is, let me pull up the match list here. It is Candice LeRae getting involved in the Grayson Waller match, the Johnny Gargano match. It is the Joe Coffey appearance during the tag team title match. It is Dexter Lumis helping his kayfabe wife Indy Hartwell into the victory. It is it is the purse.
The show. Listen,
It is outside of the own match. Other things have to happen that don't involve the participants in the match. Have to happen for the conclusion of the match to happen. The match will just continue until Joe Coffey gets involved, until Candice LeRae gets involved, until a purse isn't involved, until Dexter Lumis, Indy Hartwell can't climb a ladder, even though her leg was never worked on once during the entire match to have Dexter Lumis help her. Because she can't be an independent woman that don't need no man.
There was only one match that had no distractions.
Yeah.
One
match.
Run-ins. And that was the 5-way. That was the only match.
Correct.
That had nothing. Everything else had something. And that is a problem. That is a problem. Listen. I just praised the hell out of WrestleMania. They did a great job with WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? Because that's the show Triple H runs now. He doesn't run NXT anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you can feel it when you watch these shows. I shouldn't need the fake turn of Duke Hudson and Dexter Lumis and Joe Coffey and Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae's running was the only good one.
Yeah,
by the way,
because it made logical sense. She did not come into the ring unless unless Grayson Waller was attacking her verbally and yelling at her about something. That the only thing that made sense. Now that had to happen for the match to eventually get to its conclusion, but it was caused by someone in the match to get there. Within the confines of the match itself. If he didn't do that, Candice LeRae wouldn't have gotten involved. And then once she did, it was comeuppance. It made logical sense. It was fucking psychology, the thing that they should be learning in this fucking PC. But no, we're learning how to take bumps and learning how to catch dives by our guest coach, The Miz.
No shit. Let's get into it. First match, I didn't understand what was happening. The Rock's daughter did nothing.
Awful. Awful.
Tyler Bate is wasted, and there you go.
Tyler Bate's on the fucking pre-show. I don't even know why he was in this match. I'm missing the. I did not watch NXT, but even then, I don't understand why Tyler Bate is here. I was like, is he dating Thea Hale? Is that the thing? And it's like, no, she's dating Nathan Frazier. I'm pretty sure. I was like, why is he here?
What is the point? Is
he part of Chase U? Why is he learning from Andre Chase? He's one of the best wrestlers they have in the company. He's doing nothing.
Again, my point exactly of they put their best wrestlers in the weirdest of matches. Anyways, I'm not talking about this anymore. Let's get to the women's ladder match.
There's a guy named Jagger Reed.
Here's what I want to say about the women's ladder match. Why are you putting women who half of them are still learning how to wrestle?
Yes.
Or don't do ladder matches because you don't learn how to do a ladder match. Why are you putting them in a ladder? Why? I don't get it. You have Roxanne Perez, right? Roxanne Perez is the best wrestler in this match. It isn't close, okay? And she was the only reason that any of this match had anything work. And it's because she's good, okay? Zoe Stark, she's fine. She's not a bad wrestler.
I like Zoe.
Lara whatever the hell her name is, Valkyria.
Lyra?
She impressed me because she's very athletic. I don't think I've ever seen her wrestle. I remember she was Aofi Valkyrie or something in UK, and I was like, oh, she's actually having an impressive showing. Tiffany Stratton almost died.
Yep.
Holy shit.
15-foot fall onto nothing.
She's no doubt about it, a future women's champion in this company. I'm just going to say that. I know that. Because she's not bad. She has the look. It's very easy to figure out where she's going to go in this company. Good for her.
She has the look, and she's a better wrestler than Carmella. She's a better wrestler than
the
Green.
NXT Women's Champion Indy Hartwell, which I'll get to.
She is the character of the beauty person, but she's a way better than any character that they currently have in the main roster that fills that role.
Yes.
The better she gets, she will be. Want to talk about WrestleMania wrestlers? She will probably, I think, be their new Trish Stratus. Legitimate. I think.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very good for her skill level. But again, why are we putting this poor girl in a ladder match?
Yes.
She's wrestled for a year pretty much.
Take months off of her life of that fall.
No shit. Gigi Dolin's one of the veterans of this match, but I mean, I don't think she's all that good. And Indy Hartwell stinks.
Yeah.
Indy Hartwell, I remember when they were doing the way stuff back in the day, and I was like, oh yeah, she gets some potential. When she was teaming with Candice, she didn't look all that bad.
Yeah.
She's bad.
Well, she was in a tag team match of fucking Candice LeRae. Of course.
Yeah. Well, hey. I had the LeRae color goggles, I guess, on.
Yeah.
And it confused me.
Yeah.
But like, and the fact that they picked her to win, I was just like, what is this company? The Roxanne Perez story stunk. It stunk.
Bad.
You did all that to crown Indy Hartwell? That's what you did? What?
Yeah. No bad.
Bad ladder match. Dangerous ladder match. That's why I'm so mad.
Unnecessary ladder match.
I think that's why I'm so mad at this and what they did. Listen. You are a developmental product.
Yeah.
Why are you putting so many people in a ladder match? And maybe it's because I'm coming off the Ring of Honor match where I saw someone snap their leg in half, so I'm a little extra teed up and angry. But I watched Tiffany Stratton almost watch her career pretty much end because she fell from the freaking top of the tallest ladder down to the floor and no one caught her. You know why?
There was 3 people there and no one caught her.
Not a single person. I felt so bad. I was legitimately angry at that point.
Yes.
I was like, this shouldn't be happening. This is dangerous. You guys are the company that do all these things safe. And this is what you did. You put a bunch of women who don't have probably either never wrestled in a ladder match or shouldn't be because they're still learning. Like, I understand Valkyrie's a veteran.
Yeah.
Gigi's a veteran. Roxanne, I guess Roxanne Perez is technically a veteran. Zoe Stark's a veteran as well. But that doesn't mean you could do a ladder match. No one's a veteran of the ladder match.
Yeah.
No one. And when you're not teaching things like this, because who would, it just boggles my mind. Have a normal match. If you were gonna have a ladder match, you would have had it with the 5-way, not this.
And if you're not confident in people catching people, don't do a ladder match, or do a ladder match and don't do a spot like that.
Ugh.
Don't the problem with NXT right now is that they feel like they have to do spots in the match and produce matches a specific way based off of previous matches and the history of WWE and how their house style is. The problem with NXT in the Performance Center is that they do not hide mistakes from people. They just do the match anyways, and people will cheer them on and say they're great wrestlers and all that other stuff. The problem is that they are not ready to do all these spots. So don't have them do these spots. They're not great at every single thing. Don't have them do every single thing. I mean, it's just ridiculous. What are we doing? Anyway, tag team match. Mark Coffey, Wolfgang defeat Brutus and Julius Creed versus Tony D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo. Brutus Creed just whiffs.
I don't even know what they're trying to do. Like, in no way, if he hits them, would have been safe.
No, he's done the match several times before, and he basically just does that and just hits the ground, and that's it. And it's not a great safe spot.
No,
for him.
but like the way they did it,
yeah,
on the floor with the tall one, like that top guy, yeah.
But ultimately he whiffs it, completely whiffs it. I did not like this match. I thought it was aggressively fine. I was so. If you want to know my star rating is the same number of matches that the family had together before they had a tag title shot on a pay-per-view. 2 matches. They had 2 matches. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Lorenzo teaming up together, and then out here at Stand and Deliver having a tag title match. Why are they having it? No idea. Just because we need champions. We need tag title people.
Yeah, I think the Creeds are gonna be great. I think they've shown signs,
I don't think they were
but
great here. I honestly do
no,
not think they were great here.
no, I don't remember many things they did besides the big miss, to be fair. I think they're going to be great. I think they're very raw still is why they're not getting called up anytime soon because they just do a lot of things and see what happens. It's like they do a lot of things and see what sticks. I think they're gonna be a great tag team and maybe Julius and Brutus could both break off and do their own thing,
Sure.
eventually because they're very good athletes, obviously.
Yeah.
It's just they are still very raw, and, who gives a shit about Joe Coffey? Joe Coffey is not a good guy.
I'll tell
No
you.
one
I'll
cares.
tell you who didn't give
He
a shit about Joe
stinks.
Coffey. The crowd. The crowd had no idea who that was because another issue that I have of NXT this time, and this is one of the reasons why we don't talk about NXT that much, but for some reason you and I both watch the show. But another reason that NXT sucks right now is because Shawn Michaels used to book NXT UK. He has a lot of respect and understands the stories and a lot of the stuff for these wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes time to have him book NXT and we're collapsing NXT UK, Shawn Michaels is like, well, I'm going to introduce these guys and make them feel as important. Problem is NXT was already a faction of the WWE audience. NXT UK is a super faction of your NXT audience. No one knows who these people are, Sean. I know who they are. Scotty knows who they are because we're fucking nerds at this shit. The average NXT fan, who is a hardcore version of the average WWE fan, has no idea who this person is, has no idea who Wolfgang and Mark Coffey are. And you're not doing enough to showcase who they are to this new audience. You are expecting the audience, for whatever reason, Sean, which is the same problem, which is why a lot of the NXT call-ups do not work at first when they come to the main roster of WWE. For years, this has been happening. I've been talking about this for years. Is because your audience does not know who they are. So stop booking them like they're a big thing. Stop expecting them to be a big thing and stop acting like it because what happens in NXT at the peak of NXT, peak NXT time with all these call-ups happening and everyone's excited about it and people are like, "Oh, why aren't they getting bigger spots?" It's because at the peak of that, you look at the TV ratings, you look at the number of subscribers that the Peacock or whatever network has, and it is half the number of people that are subscribed to the network. If you want to say every single network person is watching NXT versus the TV ratings, it was half. Even if 1.5 million people are watching NXT every single week on WWE Network, 3 million people are watching the main roster. Half of your crowd had no idea. There's a whole controversy about. I should stop talking. I need to stop talking because I'll keep going on about this. Suffice to say, a problem with NXT right now is the crowd has no idea who NXT UK people are. We can't act like we do, and Shawn Michaels is acting like we knew, and we need.
Yeah,
to stop
and the
that shit.
one that they do is teaming with Chase U. They know who Tyler Bate is.
Yes,
And yet he's teaming with Chase U.
Yes.
Whatever, man.
That's
Next.
a great point. Multi-man match: Wes Lee versus Axiom versus Dragon Lee versus Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough. Pretty good match.
McDonough stinks. And this isn't just because of him being, scummy from speaking out. He is not good. He's a bad pro wrestler these days.
Yes. I would not say he is a bad wrestler, but I would say he's a bad wrestler these days because his gimmick is that he's like a chicken shit heel that also can fight. Like he is a guy that does not want to be involved, but he can fight. Just be a fighter. Like his best time was when he was an OTT being like a babyface guy, and he had that super huge crowd reaction when he beat, I think, Walter at the time. He's not working as a heel. His style of heel work is weird and doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't really work. Beyond that, thought it was a pretty good match. I thought Ilya was great. I thought Dragon Lee looked pretty good. I thought Axiom was good. I thought Wesley was good. JD McDonough was just weird. I wasn't into him, but it was pretty good. Multi-man, it's fine. It was my 12th multi-man I've seen that weekend, but it's fine, I guess.
Yeah, it was fine. It bad for the wrestlers that were in there.
Yeah, Yeah, I would have liked, like you said at the top, I would have liked to see a singles match between Wes Lee and Dragon Lee, but we didn't get it, so who cares?
Yeah, let down for sure.
What was a letdown? Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller. I thought this match was pretty great.
Yeah, this is the best match of NXT. Shocking. Johnny Gargano saved the day in NXT.
And Grayson Waller, I think, is the best wrestler in that company in NXT right now.
Wow.
I think he is. Undoubtedly. After
I
this,
do not think he's better than Dragon Lee.
Oh, well, I haven't seen enough of NXT Dragon Lee to
I don't think he's better than Tyler Bate, but Tyler Bate's a loser now, so maybe he is.
Some of the guy being pushed and having good matches and having showcase matches and all this stuff, it's Grayson Waller, I think, is the best guy.
Grayson Waller's weird to me because, like, he's just the new version of The Miz. Like, that's his gimmick.
Yeah, but he can go. Miz can
go. He can go on, like, The Miz. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But he is the new version of The Miz, without a doubt. Like, that's going to be his spot. Which is fine. I mean, that makes you a world champion.
Well, yeah.
So
yeah, that works. Hey, look, if Ali's the new, we gotta find the new versions of people. If Ali's the new Dolph Ziggler, then Grayson Waller can be the new Miz, and that's fine. And the Miz and Dolph Ziggler will still be around for another 10 years, so that's fine.
Johnny Gargano is still Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
He did great. Waller did great. This was a very good match.
This was a good match.
Show, easily.
This is a good match that reminded the NXT crowd how great Johnny Gargano used to be. Or, still is, because I thought this was a great match, I should say. But
he's still good. He just
not main roster.
Nerd on the main roster.
Disappeared. He doesn't exist. Doesn't exist the main roster over there.
Yep.
Fallon Henley and Kiana James versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
This stunk.
Stunk ass.
This managed to be the worst match of the night. Congratulations. I don't know who Fallon Henley is. I don't know who Kiana James is. They stink. They're terrible. There was something with a purse. Someone tried to tell me it might be a hammer. I said, what? And we moved on. This stunk.
Last time I checked, purses don't look like hammers.
Stunk.
Next match.
Stunk.
Main event. Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes.
Womp. Womp. Womp.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was fine. It was just
better than that Apollo Crews or Carmelo Hayes match.
I said this earlier with Theory and Cena. I'm going to say it again. They couldn't help themselves. If you want to crown Carmelo Hayes, just have him win clean one time on the show. Win clean. It would have been a better match. It would have been a better finish. Instead, you have Trick Williams, who got kicked out from ringside, come in and smash him in the back of the head with the title. Okay, great. Carmelo Hayes goes on to win the match, and then Braun's like, good job. You beat me fair. No, he didn't. Why are you saying good job? You should be pissed. Why? Also, more importantly, why is the guy that's more ready winning the NXT Championship? Why is he the one winning the title? I was like, okay, Carmelo Hayes should not win this. He should get called up. He's fine. He's ready. He's got his character. He's got his persona. He's got his confidence. He's good in the ring. He's safe in the ring. He's ready to get called up. He's also older than Braun Breaker. But no, that didn't happen, Ryan. No, he lost. I mean, he won. He lost, but he won.
Yeah.
Because I think he could be an actual star. And now he's going to be stuck in NXT for longer. Yes, I get it. He has the NXT Championship. Is he a guy that deserved the NXT Championship?
Yeah.
Championship? Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. But you could have did it 5 months ago.
Could have. Well, I'm glad that he won, because if he didn't win, then all those skipped after parties wouldn't have been worth it. And
You're right. You're right. The life of the party. Done. Gone, bamboozled.
Yeah.
That's the thing though. Like, the match was fine. The NXT title matches are probably going to be better now because Carmelo Hayes is champion.
Agreed.
Depending who he faces, hopefully anyone that's not Blockhead in the 5-way. But that would be nice.
The problem is that Carmelo Hayes now has to figure out how to, and I think he can do it because I think he's charismatic and has enough ideas about it all. But he has to figure out how to maintain his momentum and not get that crowd, which always happens in NXT nowadays, to turn on him. It is totally possible that it happens, but he has to figure out how to do
NXT crowd stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, they always turn on people. Every single time they turn on someone.
They turn on Johnny.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Johnny was on top for a very long time.
Yeah.
But they still turned on him.
They turn on everyone because people get so stale, and that's the problem. Also, is that
Stale quick.
it's always been an issue with them. Always been an issue with NXT is that you're working the same territory of Orlando, and you're not keeping it exciting enough to do interesting things. You're not doing enough stuff. You need double time on your creativity because you have to do more interesting things to pop that crowd more. Not like swerves and all this shit, but interesting stories and good enough stories or new people, all the stuff to make it, and constantly flipping stuff because the crowd's gonna if things can get stale super easily to that crowd because you're only working that crowd.
I'm upset.
Me too.
I'm upset, because we both had our tirades at the beginning of this, and it's because it can be better.
It should be better.
I feel like I'm watching Vince McMahon's WWE.
It should be. It should be way better.
It should be.
I
mean, there's a lot. There's good wrestlers on here.
There are.
We praise Tiffany Stratton while shitting on the match.
Carmelo Hayes is great. Grayson Waller is great.
Braun Breaker still needs seasoning. I don't think he's ready, but
me neither.
He has to be called up now. Otherwise, what the hell is he supposed to be doing?
Look, if he's out of the title picture and not getting called up, put him in a tag team with Tyler Bate because that one match was great.
Yeah, that was good. They worked well together.
They work really well together.
And I wish they went back to it, but
they should. Tyler Bate's not doing anything.
Well, he is. He's busy with Chase U.
Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about
NXT
that?
is our only negative Nelly thing today, folks. Though this is called being critical. And listen, admittedly, I apologize for my little tirade earlier, but I'm very angry after this show. I was very angry after this show. And WrestleMania made it better, but they stink. They have the grizzled young veterans, and they turn them into losers. They have
Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed. Those are fake names. Those are no one has ever in the history of mankind been called that.
Mankind. They have the best 21-year-old prospect in the U.S. in Roxanne Perez, and they made her a geek who lost. Listen, the anxiety thing was a weird way to go. And I know she had something else going on outside of wrestling, and that's why it actually happened, which whatever that is, happy she's fine, happy she's okay. But the way they did it was awful. Just to have her lose. At least have her lose to Tiffany Stratton or Cora Jade to make the story make sense. You didn't even do that. You didn't make any of the story make sense. And then, who could give a shit less about Gallus in 2023?
Yeah.
Huh? No one cares. And I'm just going through this whole thing now. JD McDonough stinks. Ilya Dragunov got pinned in the middle of the ring for like the 9th time. What are we doing? This is the guy that beat Walter. You jerks.
I think
Johnny Gargano did good.
I think NXT has taken a long time to cultivate a roster with a lot of great, really good wrestlers. But NXT cannot get out of its own way and showcase the greatness of their wrestlers because instead they're trying to show the greatness of their performance center. And it's not great. The performance center
so
sucks.
Many shit finishes.
Nathan Frazier is in this company. Ben Carter.
He's still really good.
Ben Carter is great. And he's in this company doing nothing.
Yeah, him and Axiom had some good matches.
Axiom is a kid. Great wrestler. And he showcased himself here well. But he's not going to do anything.
The best part of that match.
But they turned him into a fucking flippy-doo guy.
Yeah, which is so weird. I said that to you yesterday. I was like, he went from like this technical wrestler that had flash to just a high flyer in a mask.
I also just remember the reason I said that to you is because I want to dog on him a little bit of the flippiness stuff that NXT fucking Performance Center bullshit. He was a really good technical wrestler. They added flippy do stuff, and then I see him do the worst triangle moonsault I've ever seen.
Slowest, I believe, is exactly what you said.
I said the slowest. The man walked to the turnbuckle, jumped up, got into position of the triangle part, and then jumped off and did the moonsault. Slowest triangle moonsault. You know how many times I've seen Kota Ibushi do that move? You know how many times I've seen Kenny Omega do that move and nail it with speed and grace and intensity? Axiom
Benny?
took fucking forever.
Hey,
Forever.
at least the moonsault looked good, but yeah, no, you're right. It looked like he was just like taking his time like Charlotte does, and it wasn't actually a triangle moonsault.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like it was just a normal moonsault. And then like let me finish. That women's tag title match was a joke. And Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes just they soiled their own ending to their big match that they had hyped up. So good job. Good job, everyone. Good job all around. They stood, they did not deliver. And yeah, that it's stunk. And you know what? I'm upset.
I would kill to have a roster like this. But instead of wrestling, we're doing character bits the entire show. I would kill for this roster. There's so many great wrestlers here. Great up and coming
Stand
wrestlers.
and deliver.
It fell and died a quick death.
Hey, if anyone gives a shit, Stardom's card's really good. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, well, of course, it's All Star Dream Queendom. Of course, it's
Their
great.
All Star Dream Queendom was it's grand actually. That's coming from someone that messes it up every time I say it. It is like the best card they've ever had. So there, I got us back onto good notes. Let's
Well, okay,
let's
so we've been going for 2.5 hours, and we
can get through Friday quick.
Friday quick. All right, let's get through Friday quick. Tokyo Joshi Pro live in the Globe. What did you think of this show? We already kind of talked about it before, but it was the Globe Theater, well mic'd, and the best crowd of the entire weekend. Undoubtedly, best crowd of the entire weekend.
Without a doubt. The only crowd that contests this is the crowd with 66,000 people in attendance.
Sorry, 80,000. You don't forget it was
80,000. Forgot Rhea Ripley was there, so she counts. Yeah,
Tiffany Stratton counts as 3. That's sorry.
In terms of
that's Trish Stratus. Trish Stratus counts as 3. I fucked that joke, but both still maybe apply. What a fuck up! What a fuck up that also kind of works. Tokyo Joshi Pro.
Anyways,
main event was great. We got a title change, which was kind of a shock to me. I was not really expecting a title change at all in this show.
JPW hates me. They hate me. They hate my happiness for Maki Ito. They will never let me have 5 seconds of happiness ever. This promotion, I try to wave the flag for TJPW all the time.
Yeah.
I interview Miya Yamashita, Maki Ito, Yuka Sakazaki, do all this great stuff. Billy Starks, who was on this show, I did this all in the past couple. Well, not Yuka. Yuka was a while back.
Yeah,
but did all this, hyping them up because they deserve it, and they break my heart again.
Now, is this because of the Maki Ito stuff, or is this because they didn't book you as commentator?
It's because of the Maki Ito stuff.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, I was upset with the result, but they had a great main event. They had a hell of a crowd all night long. Rika and Billy did great. Billy's really coming into her own.
Yes.
I keep giving credit to Billy, but I think she really has started to click dots. I mean, Miyu Watanabe is a superstar. If you base it off this crowd, oh my god, she had people eating out of the palm of her hand.
Yep.
Maxie Paler and Heidi Howitzer are just so great at being so different from the roster.
Yep.
Right, as like the big powerhouse team. Yeah, the crowd was incredible.
Yes.
Like they made every match feel important, even matches that I don't look forward to usually.
Free Wi-Fi versus Daisy Monkey, I thought was a great opener.
Yeah, like it was a hot show from start to finish. They did and it was like within 2 hours. It was boom, done. Let's get out.
Yes.
They will be back every year.
They should be. And like, it's also wild because it already feels like they have a better foothold in America than Stardom does. You know?
Well, yeah, because they
they've done shows
they
in
they
America.
came here.
But it feels like so much more on like a smaller basis. Like if Stardom comes here at this point, it's to like run a big time show,
Yeah.
like at a big time arena. But
Yeah.
like Toki Joshi Pro was like totally like underground, like they're building momentum slowly but surely, and like they had a great show, had a great crowd, had a great matches on it, and they should come back earlier than a year from now.
They should come back SummerSlam. SummerSlam week.
Double or Nothing week.
Double or Nothing week. All Out week. You get the point.
Forbidden Door week. Why not?
Forbidden Door week. But you get the point. Like that's the interesting. So I think that's like how we approach this show at all. Is you look at it in the sense of like how does Stardom come here? One, I think Stardom sees this and says, "Oh, we would do really good."
They would do.
Two, both companies obviously are more focused on different things. That will Stardom's looking to solidify that number 2 spot in Japan, which they're pretty much have done, but they keep doing it. They keep working on it, right? I mean, like I said, they have a card coming up that has, everything you could ever ask for on a pay-per-view. Truthfully, like I'm getting Kairi and Suzuki in the same freaking ring on this damn show. I don't think I could ask for more. But it's New Japan. It's not even New Japan. It's Bushiroad who wants Stardom to expand.
Yes.
Like Rossi's very focused on keep growing this brand, keep making Joshi feel bigger, which he's doing a great job at. But you made a good point. It's like they're not ahead in the
US expansion.
Yeah, and they don't want to be. So
which is,
they do. Stardom doesn't. Bushiroad does.
Yeah. And I
know Gato doesn't, that bastard.
This might be a controversial take that will cause all the Stardom fans to hate me, but they already do. I bash on Koguma all the time. I fear that the only way for Stardom, unless they're forced by Bushiroad, the only way for Stardom to start actually properly doing US expansion is if Rossi is no longer in charge. Because why haven't they done more US stuff? Why aren't
I don't want to see Stardom without him.
Why? And I agree. I think he is a great part of Stardom, but he is obviously the person that is not going to do US expansion. He's not working with AEW. He's not working for the promotions. He's not working for in America. He's not doing US shows. He's actively choosing not to do those things and to just focus on Stardom in Japan, which is great. Bushiroad got him to the point where Bushiroad's interested and bought Stardom. It worked out there, but he doesn't want to do that, and I fear that is that something he wants to do down the line? Is it something he's actually interested in doing, or would he rather just stay in Japan the entire time? Because if it's the latter, then I hate to say it, but at a certain point, Rossi's time is going to be a ticking clock with Bushiroad.
I think the US thing does matter. The ticking time clock won't happen. He makes him too much money right now.
I know, but at a certain point, Bushiroad
he's making them more money than I think they ever expected.
Agreed. I mean, what I say by that, I mean, at a certain point, Bushiroad's like, we want to go to America.
Yeah,
have to happen.
Well, he'll just accept it,
and that's my point. Is he going to be forced to do these things? And that's where
he's done an American show.
Okay,
so they did one. They've done one. They did one in New York. So it's not crazy automatically. So he was connected with AJW, obviously.
Yeah.
That's why he's such a big force now. And I think AJW and really Joshi kind of dying in Japan in terms of popularity does sit with him, and that's why he's so focused on
100% agree.
Japan.
100% agree.
And I think he will come around to doing the US stuff eventually. Because it's just part of the business plan. It's part of the Bushiroad business plan, and they have a major part.
But also part of I don't want to say part of the success of AJW, but at least in terms of American audiences, is that they were able, they worked with, WWF at the time, right, to have wrestlers
Yeah, it
on
worked
Raw
out.
and I was going to say on SmackDown, on Raw,
Yeah, it works out.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is the New Japan Stardom relationship really needs to work
Yes.
for Rossi to be interested.
Yes. And
And it's
having
been
Gato, who is not interested, doesn't help as
no,
well.
it's been an up and down road so far,
Yeah.
right? You've had the great historic crossover main event.
Mhm.
You've had the
IWGP
very
title booking.
questionable Wrestle Kingdom match.
Yeah.
You've had
matches
battle.
over the years, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mostly meant the IWGP one.
Yeah.
Which was like you just wasted Kyrie and Tam. You've had the Battle in the Valley match, which obviously shining support and all that. And then your next check is Saturday, right? So it's like it might come down to Gato as much as Rossi in terms of how far this goes, which is terrifying.
Yes.
I think Rossi will give in eventually. I do. I think he's lost a lot of wrestlers he believed in to these companies too. So you have to remember that, why he may not partner instantly right off the bat. And now this is just me speculating. This isn't me knowing anything.
No, the reason I bring this up is that it is a concern of mine
it's a concern of some people, so don't worry.
I totally am concerned that like Rossi has no interest in doing it. I think it's something to expand the company further to be interested in. I get why he doesn't want to do these things, and working with Gato isn't necessarily going to get him there. It's just basically Bushiroad that's going to do that stuff. If Bushiroad wasn't around, they wouldn't be doing these things, But I mean, Mercedes wouldn't even be in the company if Bushiroad wasn't around. Well, she might be, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the money would have been there. No. But I just don't know. It's frustrating to see Stardom not do things when Tokyo Joshi Pro does this show and it's such a success. Not necessarily the show the weekend for me in terms of match quality, but show of the weekend in terms of I had the most fun watching this show than any other show, and I am not a Tokyo Joshi fan. Not saying I hate the product, I just don't watch it.
Right.
I parachute in all the time, and I walk away from this and I'm like, I might watch more Tokyo Joshi Pro. I liked a lot of this stuff.
It's gonna come. I think it will come. I think them in the US will come. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Not if.
Yeah. I think the when is when does Bushiroad say give him an ultimatum or something.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. He's created so much leeway, even if that's coming close, because of how well they've done. Like, they have done stupidly well.
They would have to, I don't know. I'm trying to think business wise.
They would have to hit a stagnant point, which they have yet to do.
He has so much power because he is making them so much money that they did not expect to make. Right. So it's sort of just like, no, keep doing your thing because you're making us money, so who cares?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I love how we started talking about Tokyo Joshi Pro. Now we're just talking about Stardom.
There are 13 sections to buy tickets for the show at Yokohama Arena, the All-Star Grand Queendom.
Sure.
Out of 13, they have sold out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 already.
Most of
in Japan, a place where a lot of people just walk up and buy a ticket.
Yes.
They've sold out 8 already in the Yokohama Arena. They've sold all the female tickets, all the under 25 seats.
Yeah.
Standing room, the 2 sections besides ringside. Like, they're going to do their biggest number yet, and then it's going to be like pie in our face of like making all this conversation because it's like,
no, and I'm not saying,
and that's what Mercedes being announced.
Yeah, yeah.
It hasn't even been announced for the show yet.
I'm sure there'll be a bunch more tickets sold next week.
Yeah, I mean it's great. It's crazy. No offense to TJPW because they did a phenomenal job this weekend.
Yeah.
They did everything right. They checked every box. Bravo to them. I'm very happy for them.
And it wasn't a GCW or like any other like
no, they partnered with the right people.
Show. It was they partnered with the right people and they presented a Tokyo Joshi show up and down the card,
top to the bottom, with the song and music and everything.
They presented their product just in an American audience, and it nailed it, and it worked. Yeah. And I'm sure it got people to subscribe.
100%. It'll be interesting to see what building Stardom runs when they do come over next time.
Yeah, that's another thing about Stardom coming over is that they're at a point now where it's almost like they have to run a bigger building.
Like they can't run the Globe.
No, it feels like that's too small for them.
Yeah, like Battle in the Valley felt too small for the match with Mercedes and Kyrie specifically.
Yeah,
I remember watching that. I was like, "Why are they in here? Why did New Japan not do a bigger show?"
Yeah. Especially,
and if I'm saying that about New Japan,
and
I'm already
Tanahashi
prepared
in the main event.
I know. Yeah. Well, whatever. Let's get the Supercard of Honor and call it a day.
All right.
I have literally zero thoughts about the 0 hour.
I was going to say, the only other thing we haven't talked about was spring break. We can maybe talk about that.
Oh, you know what? I'll say it right now. Okay. I'll say it right now. Kota Ibushi and Joey Janela kind of stunk.
Kind of. I gave it like 1 and 3/4, I think. I hated it. 1.5. I went 1.5 on it. I hated it. Hated it.
I thought it was bad for sure. It didn't. It was like what is not the Ibushi match? Let's do it.
I hate it.
Like, let's go the complete opposite direction. It was bad, and I was prepared.
Best match on the show. Best match on the show was the tag title match for me.
I'm not a big Jordan Oliver guy. So
I'm not a huge Jordan Oliver guy either, but him and Nick Wayne are a good team, and then obviously Shelley and Sabin, they're great. So that was to me the best match on the show.
All right, that's spring break, everybody.
Oh, well, the only other thing I want to talk about is just I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I went 1/4 on the Maki Death Kill versus Bushi match.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get myself to watch
it. If you thought the Ibushi match was bad,
I love Maki Ito. I do love her. Couldn't get myself to do it.
So bad, abysmally bad. Probably my worst show of the year right now.
Worst show?
Sorry, not worst. Well, maybe worst show of the year. Worst match of the year was that Bushi.
Wow.
Maki Death Kill. Totally, I think.
Wow.
Right now, my and, maybe that's not surprising with the comparison in it, but it was like undoubtedly like that is.
Well, it's not Maki Ito's fault. That's my takeaway. It's not her fault.
She
didn't
help.
Type of match.
She didn't help, for sure.
Well, I didn't see it being good at all, so that's why I didn't watch it.
Fair enough.
I have a dud. Where's my dud?
Yeah, you got a dud somewhere.
I have a dud somewhere. I don't want to find it right now.
Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. Let's fucking close out this show. We're about to go 3 hours. First match.
We were ready for that.
Yeah, first match, AAA mega title match. El Hijo del Vikingo versus Commander. This match was great.
I watched it second. I watched it twice because I showed my friend before Mania yesterday because he watched Vikingo against Kenny and was like blown away. Yeah. Obviously,
yeah.
Came down a little bit. First viewing's obviously much better because you're seeing things that you just don't see, right? Yes. So it's not as exciting when you expect it, which isn't shocking.
Yeah.
Great match though.
Yep.
Vikingo had himself a hell of a week.
MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to go for a guy that had multiple matches this week, who's the MVP? It has to be Vikingo.
Yeah.
This was great. Hell of a way to open the show. Well, and Ryan, I was right again. Lucha and Ring of Honor. It works.
It works. It was great. It was a great match. They did stuff that I've never seen before. They did stuff I've obviously seen before. And it was great. The one thing I had about it was just and one of the reasons why I like the Taurus match a lot more, I think. I give it the same rating, but I like that match a little bit more. In terms of what made the Taurus match better was that it was the third competitor in the match that allowed the setup stuff to be distracted by other action happening in the ring.
Sure.
This match at Supercard of Honor had a lot of setup to get to the cool ass spots.
Sure.
So there's some pluses and minuses to me.
Yeah, I get that.
It took it down a little bit for me, not too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave like the Omega Vikingo match, I think 4.25, and I gave this 4. You know, this is like, it just had a little bit of that. Like, they had great stuff, great lucha, but it was just like, it just took a little too long to set up. But I get why they have to set up and do all that stuff. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Ring of Honor World 6-man tag team title match: Bishop Khan, Brian Cage, and Toa Leona versus AR Fox, Blake Christian, and Metalik. I think kind of surprised and kind of a shock based on the news going to the weekend, but it was the Embassy that were able to retain their titles. Brian Cage, still a champion.
Yep. So it was fine.
There we go. This match was fine. Are you surprised at all with the outcome?
Yeah, definitely. I was shocked. I was shocked that not only did I was shocked and I wasn't. I was shocked because they won, because I expected Brian Cage to lose. But I also wasn't shocked because I was like, well, I feel like you could have put a more reasonable trio against them. That would have made more sense if that were the case.
Yeah.
They have, like, they'll probably tape this week. Maybe they'll lose it there. Maybe they just wanted to do like a little shock, like, hey, you have a week? Do you have the rest of the week to do this? Put it on. You know, they have the Battle on the Belts recording on Friday, so they're gonna have a lot of time before that to probably book some.
I believe they said that they are going to, instead of Rampage, obviously, because Rampage is live. They're going to be taping the Ring of Honor show
before instead of Dark.
Yes.
Good.
So, and then putting that on Thursday, obviously.
I repeat, we don't need more Dark.
And I believe the next taping, I don't remember if Tony Khan said when the next taping is, but he said it's in New York. So if it's in New York, it's probably.
Oh no, that meant this Wednesday because they're in New York.
Yes, that's what it is.
They're doing it.
I took that as taping in New York of like.
I originally did too,
but they haven't put tickets. They would have put tickets up for sale for that
because he originally said that on the media call.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute. So it's not an actual like taping. It's just part of the Dynamite taping.
Yeah. So they need to do another big old taping, I think, but
they do and they don't. They do because they need a lot of TV. They don't because I don't mind them having like a bigger crowd. It's just it's hard to do it when you have a big show that's either going in the middle or before or after. So like I think doing the tapings before Rampage is great.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do it with the Dynamite stuff. So yeah, they do need a taping. But they probably get 2 weeks of TV out of the Rampage taping.
Yeah. Ring of Honor Women's World Title match. Athena defeats Yuka Sakazaki. I didn't think this was as great as the Emi Sakura match from the Thursday TV show for Ring of Honor, Honor Club, whatever number it is. I didn't think it was as good as that. I still thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't. The Emi Sakura match, I was like, oh, I saw that match and I saw this match. I was like, oh, the Emi Sakura should have easily been the pay-per-view. That it was way better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that was better. Athena, I love the Athena and Willow match. I love the Athena and Emmy match. This, I think did actually, like, this is one of the matches that I do think that suffer a little from maybe Yuka wrestling earlier on in the TJPW show.
Yep. It sounds like it because she skipped a booking, skipped a taping for WrestleCon. No, skipped a signing for WrestleCon.
Yeah, she did.
Injury.
She seems a little banged up.
Yeah.
She had her neck all taped up and stuff. She went out there. You know, they did a good job. I think the second half was much better than the first half. I think the first half they were kind of having a tough time.
Yes, totally agree.
She's trying to get her feet under her, maybe. It ended up being good, just not anywhere towards I think where it could have been. Maybe if she was fresh,
or the expectation and the booking led me to think.
Yeah. Yeah, and Athena didn't. I thought it was weird. Athena didn't fully embrace like what she's been embracing until later in the match. But you pick and you choose.
A little bit of disappointment
for sure.
We didn't talk about it, but Nigel McGuinness joined the company,
Oh yes,
becoming a new
Nigel's
member of the
good.
commentary booth. How do you think about Nigel McGuinness joining commentary?
I like Nigel, so I have no problem. I like the 2-man booth, preferably always.
He has a wildly different energy to Caprice and Ian.
Yeah, he would fit in, I think, with like Excalibur and Taz or
Him,
Shivani better.
him and Taz would be a wild duo.
Yeah. Well, so what Nigel did well was he brought like the world title mindset to the group.
Yeah.
He's just very different from like those two are so used to working as a duo now that it's like you should just leave them as a duo. And I think they will. I think it was just a one off. I think it was like, big show. He's in town because he's in town for some stuff like WrestleCon and
I
whatnot.
don't know. They like 3-man booths.
They do, and I don't know why. I like the 2-man booth. I think Ian and Caprice are great.
I agree. I don't think they have a great chemistry. I don't. Nigel McGuinness is a good commentator, but I don't
He is.
know if I don't want to ruin the chemistry and the dynamic between Caprice and Ian. And I thought it was okay, but maybe that's something they just need to work on and include him in.
Yeah, it's their first time working as a trio too. So.
Ian and Caprice are a lot more wholesome than when Nigel's heel work.
Yes, Nigel's very very snippy.
Yeah. Ring of Honor World TV title match: Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe. Samoa Joe gets the win, causing the internet to explode in frustration over Mark Briscoe getting a loss here.
Like I said, Tony Khan doesn't want anyone else besides Cody Rhodes finishing the story this weekend. In all seriousness, I really enjoyed this match. Hard hitting,
Same.
big time chops,
Great story,
devastating stuff. Great story. Samoa Joe's so good. Mark Briscoe so good. And if there is a, I feel like, and maybe people disagree with me, but I feel like if you're going to build up a story to the ultimate win, this feels like the right one. When he got the television match immediately, I was like,
yeah,
like I get it, obviously, but I think it works. And people may disagree with me because I was sad when Mark Briscoe lost. I'm not going to lie to you,
but that's how they.
But
want
it's
you to
better
feel.
for the story,
and that's how they want you to feel. They want.
Yeah. So when he does get it, because he's gonna get it, Tony's not gonna not give him this moment. Like it's going to happen. You're just gonna have to wait.
He is reminding the Ring of Honor audience and telling the AEW audience and the new Ring of Honor audience what the story is by having Mark lose the first match. And what the story has always been, which is Mark has never won the TV title and cannot beat Samoa Joe.
It's a great story. And he should beat Samoa Joe for this, by the way. I want that to be very specific.
Yes.
He should not beat anyone besides Samoa Joe for this belt.
Yeah. And to do that story properly, he does really need to lose the first time. In hindsight, it makes complete sense.
Make other people care. Make everyone care, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right? Like, because not everyone knew the stories, right? You could tell people as much as they could, but like, not everyone's watching Ring of Honor Weekly right now.
Yes.
I know that. They should be because I think it's a good show. But
agreed.
It's just the truth. So make more and more people get invested because it's going to be the ultimate payoff. Like it's not like Mark Briscoe is like, oh, you can't do this. We need to get like it's gonna work out. It's gonna be fine.
And just to address all those things, the people in social media who are just tweeting out how distraught they are over Mark Briscoe losing. Shut up. I that's as frank as I'm gonna be. And I was
sad because that's the wrestling fan feeling. It's not the
see Scotty tugging his collar over that reaction. I hate that those people are tweeting those things like that. It's stupid.
People went overboard with comments.
You have no right to be like anguished about this story about Mark Briscoe losing. Mark Briscoe did the story. This is the story Mark Briscoe wants to do.
If I never thought he was going to win it, it would be one thing, but he's going to.
Yes, it's so obvious.
Yeah, he's more obvious than the main event.
Yes, there's so many people. It's not like bad faith. It's people who are invested in the story ultimately, and will get the ultimate payoff later. But people being like actively upset and angry at Tony Khan about it have to kick rocks. They are so out of depth of what they're saying. It is they have no reason to be that upset.
I
Mark
understand
Briscoe is not upset because he's doing the fucking storyline.
Yeah, I understand people are upset about Jay. Listen, I am too. Kevin got me last night while I caught like 1 minute of the press conference, and it happened to be when he did that.
Yeah.
Um,
the post match promo of Mark Briscoe got me a little bit too.
yeah,
Where he's like,
it's all going to be worth it.
All gonna be
It's
worth
all
it.
going to be worth it. It's all going to be worth it. He's going to get his moment. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be wonderful. And hell, why not have it main event the show?
Final battle.
Scotty's doing a great. They can wait that long.
By the way, folks, Scotty's doing a great job of making sure I do not fly off the coop of my comments about this thing.
It's a sensitive subject on one half. You know?
Yeah,
like you let me fly off the coop with the NXT thing because no one gives a fuck.
And I probably flew off the coop when I messaged you about this, about how I feel about it. But it is
because I understand, like, it's the wrestling story.
It's the wrestling story, and I think the problem is it's weird. It's that people are super into the personal real life story of all this stuff and how they
personal real life story makes me sad.
Yeah, and how they believe Mark Briscoe deserves these things, but
he does deserve the win. He's gonna get it.
He's going to get it, and people are like, he has to have it now, and if he doesn't have it now, finish the story. They just started the story.
Imagine if Cody just won the day he walked in.
Yeah. Imagine if they did an open challenge at WrestleMania last year and Cody Rhodes won it. With that, okay, great. Cody deserves it. Cool.
Yeah.
But how much better it is now that Cody's going to win tonight, probably.
It's going to be a good long-term story. You're going to get Mark a little bit on AEW, a little bit on Ring of Honor. It's going to happen.
Calm down, everybody.
When originally I wanted him to win the world title. But I know he likes the television title. I know it's his dream, so it has to be the television title. Yeah. I would have went with the world title.
We'll talk about the world title.
But hey,
Daniel Garcia versus Hiroshi Tanahashi. Scotty, you already sort of talked about it. You did not like
aggressively fine.
Aggressively fine. I thought it was aggressively good. Tanahashi was slow.
Bad knee day.
Bad knee day for Tanahashi.
He was rough. He can't wrestle 2 singles matches back to back.
I talk about Austin Theory doing a lot of taunting to try to give John Cena some rest time.
Oh,
Daniel Garcia was going for it. He was like, "All right, Tanahashi, you rest. I'll do the Nakamura stuff real quick." It was not what he wanted. Not what he wanted from this match, but it is what it is. Next match was the. I love this match. The Reach for the Sky ladder match for the vacant Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles. It was ultimately the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon, and Rey Fenix who won the match.
The one team I actually thought wasn't going to win.
Same exact thing. Tony Khan confirmed after the fact. Heartbreaker on Twitter, I believe, that the original plan was for this year to be a year-long feud with the Briscoes versus the Lucha Bros. So this seemed like eventually they were going to be the tag team champions maybe at some point.
Briscoes were going to be the tag team of the year again.
Yeah. They were going to have that year, which is a heartbreaker. But it was ultimately the Lucha Brothers got the win here. I think that's a good team to, have a bunch of people, AEW fans, go like, oh, I'll see Lucha Brothers match on Ring of Honor. I'll sign up. Good idea to get people going. I thought this match was great. I thought for me, this match was not the match of the night, but number 2 by like a quarter. Like my top
number 2.
It's like Vikingo Commander, this match, and then the main event are all sort of fighting with each other, but this is number 2 in that slot. I went 4 1/4. I thought this match was fantastic. I thought everyone played their part well. There was an obvious, that we'll all talk about it, the obvious huge accident, huge mistake of the sort of overturning is a bad use of words there. The sort of going too far away from the tables, landing poorly, and not having a horrendous injury on old Dante Martin, who will look like he'll be out for quite a while.
Let me talk to you. like when you see reaction videos to like these injuries and stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh wow, that's so fake. So as they were getting ready to do this, I said, do not do this. I was literally saying out loud, do not do this. It is not going to go well for someone.
Yeah.
I literally said that out loud.
Yeah.
And I see this guy's foot in the reverse of where it's supposed to look like. And I said, you have to be kidding.
Yes.
It's like you guys did so much dangerous shit this match, right? Unbelievable, fantastic match, truthfully.
Yes.
Fantastic ladder match. You had a little bit of everything. You had great tag teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
Kingdom's fantastic. Kingdom, oh man, they got me emotional too.
Kingdom are great.
I wanted them to win because I wanted them in Top Flight to keep feuding.
Yes.
That's what I wanted.
No.
Doesn't matter now.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, but when Penta hit that and I saw his foot, I was like,
it was disgusting.
It was awful.
It was,
and some people didn't see it.
Some people didn't see it. Remember the Ray Phoenix injury during the Lucha, the Jungle Express match?
Yeah, I remember that.
Similar. I looked at him like you see it at a quick glance, and you're like
similar, but not as the Ray Phoenix one wasn't as bad. This is bad.
No, this is bad. So
this is the type of injury I've seen in like multiple sports. Like I've seen it in basketball. I've seen people slip and fall and just bad fall. I saw anyone ever see Anderson Silva snap his leg when he kicked Chris Weidman? That's kind of what it was like.
I mean, yeah, people were describing this as Theismann.
Yeah, Theismann's a good one, obviously. It's just anytime you see someone's foot in reverse, and now it sucks because Top Flight found their groove as a duo. And every time these two find their fucking groove, something bad happens, and it sucks so bad.
Yeah. I will say to that point, though, a weird silver lining of this is that this horrific injury will lead to Darius Martin working as a singles wrestler, getting way more experience,
like Dante did,
and catching up to where Dante got to.
I love Darius. I think he's excellent.
I think he's excellent. I think he could again. He could potentially, depending on how long Dante is out, I think Darius could again surpass his brother. Because there was a point where at the beginning where it was Darius was like the guy.
I think he has a better overall style. He's a little more hard hitting, but he flies a little bit. It's a good style. It sucks that we have to talk about it like this, but I do think Darius will shine. I think you should keep him in Ring of Honor.
Yep.
Especially because AEW, you don't need him there, right? Yeah. Keep him in Ring of Honor. Give him singles matches. I thought him and Mike Bennett. Was it Mike Bennett that he had the match with?
Yes.
Or was it Taven?
I believe it was Bennett.
Good match. Really good match. I really enjoyed those two. But Mike Bennett's been great, by the way. He's really. It might have been Taven this week, actually.
It wasn't this past episode.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was
Matt Taven. It was Matt Taven.
It was Taven. I thought they had a good match.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I've seen Darius have a singles match in who knows how long. So like, I think that's the way to look at this. I think we're looking at best case scenario. Darius now gets a chance to kind of try and figure it out on his own.
Yep.
Something that Dante did really well.
Yep.
And do it in Ring of Honor. Gives him a chance to grow. But yeah, this match was great. I just want to finish that by saying it's great. I'm not going to go over all the spots. You watch it yourself.
Yeah, it was a great match. Great match.
Great match. Sad ending.
Yes.
Nice to see FTR go out there and celebrate.
Yep.
With everyone, because FTR is absolutely re-signed. Hey, when their best friend's coming back, it's all working out for them.
And by that, of course, you mean Danhausen and Trent Beretta and.
I totally am not going to look to the comments made by Jericho this week that pretty much told me that someone was walking back in the door, and if he likes it or not.
Yeah, and then he's just sort of like, well, it is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Wheeler Yuta versus Katsuri Shibata for the Ring of Honor Pure title.
I fucking loved this.
This is really
because he made Wheeler Yuta look like a punk ass bitch, which is the entire reasoning of this match in the first place, right? Yeah. Because Yuta plays the tough guy.
Yeah.
He's not like the rest yet. He's playing a tough guy. So what does Shibata do? He pleases this man for 12 minutes. Katsuyori Shibata. Oh God, how I've missed you. How I have missed you. That when his song hits, when he's just out there doing the damn thing, I thought he was always winning. I was shocked by how many people didn't think he was winning.
Yeah.
I never thought for a second he wasn't. I was like, no, this is definitely the match he wins. Kind of builds on Wheeler Yuta's story, and it worked out because this guy also came out later in the night and made the Blackpool Combat Club put their tails between their legs and run away. He's awesome.
Yeah. It was so good. I love Shibata. He's such a good wrestler. I just love him. I love him so much.
When he was like, "Dad, hit me," and then he just like push on the figure four again. It was great. He's like, "Nah," and then it was
that
just
was a great
so much
spot.
fate.
Fantastic spot. Doing the figure four spot, so good. Oh, God.
He still hits very hard, by the way. You can't hit him hard, but he can hit hard.
And he'll be at New York. He'll be at the Ring of Honor taping.
He's wrestling this week.
He's wrestling this week, and we'll see another match of Shibata this Thursday.
He wants that Danielson match so bad.
He does. He does, and it's a shame he's not going to get it at Forbidden Door. If the Zack Sabre Jr. match happened last year, he would, but there's no way.
No
way.
Yeah.
No way.
Last match.
Close this up. Main event. Let's get out of here. Main event. Eddie Kingston, Claudio Castagnoli. Match of the night for me.
Me too.
I think match of the weekend right now for me.
I'm between this and the Mania main event, maybe because I got the happy ending in the Mania main event, and I didn't get the happy ending here. If I got the happy ending here, which I never expected, this would have been one of my favorite matches of the year. Guaranteed, like top tier. But I'm a stickler when it comes to not getting the right ending, so it hurts the match a little bit. Though I understand why they went with Claudio. Fantastic though. It wasn't a wrestling match, it was a fight.
Yes.
To the very end. I thought Eddie was winning about 3 different occasions, and he never did. And I was very sad.
But it's like all that stuff was perfect and it played into it. I think you mentioned this in a text message that we were having with each other.
Claudio's best match, by the way, since leaving WWE.
100%. This match, same thing if the Briscoe match would have been well received if the other person won. Like this match would have been would have been received better if Mark Briscoe won. The Mark Briscoe match would have been received better if Eddie Kingston won. The fact that both of them lost in the same night, hitting that same story point, it feels like eventually both of them would win the title. That feels like the story. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Eddie Kingston's never going to win this title.
No.
But that being said, the fact that I don't like that they hit this same story beat of both of these guys losing this match here. I wish one of them won. And but I also would have preferred Mark Briscoe to not win. So it's like a weird dilemma that they've created for themselves.
Ultimately, you're just saying Eddie should have won.
I mean, maybe. I think maybe. I like the idea. There is an idea that Eddie Kingston wins by being disrespectful, and that he turned more heel. But then you do that, you would basically, I think for Eddie Kingston to win, he would have to. It would, I don't know. I think they would have to do a double turn and have Eddie Kingston turn heel and Claudio turn face, because
they're not doing that.
Yeah, because to do another match, they would have to continue the feud, which would be Eddie being disrespectful. I don't think Eddie being respectful and winning respectfully and earning his thing would lead to another match between the two, and I think that's obviously the goal. So because you want that, you either have to have Eddie lose or you have to have Eddie win, but do something very disrespectful, which will cause him to turn heel, which will cause Claudio to turn face during a super hot heel run for the BCC. So you're fucked. You got to have Eddie lose.
So you know what I think this is leading to?
Career versus title?
A fight without honor. Match.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
For sure.
I
would be shocked if it didn't. That was I don't know the last time they did a fight without honor match.
I think before.
Couldn't tell you, but one of the great matches of Ring of Honor's history is here we go. 2021, Kenny King and Shane Taylor, and I remember that being pretty good. Yeah, that was pretty good. But like that is a very prestigious match. Kingston actually did one with Chris Hero once upon a time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson, Takeshi Morishima, that's a big one. El Generico and Kevin Steen, they had a big one as well.
I think there was a really good. I think on his going away tour, I think they did a Fight Without Honor. Maybe it was just no DQ. I think it was Fight Without Honor though. It was Silas Young versus Kevin Steen, which was really good. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, it's a great match to do.
Yeah. It's basically just like a no holds barred sort of,
Yeah, it's just it has a catchy thing.
Yeah, it's better name.
I think that's where we go. I think that's how you finish the series. I would have, and you and me talking about this, you want to line these up to one finish sooner than the other, and I think this one can happen at Death Before Dishonor. Fight Without Honor at Death Before Dishonor fits too well.
I also love Eddie Kingston saying I would rather die than whatever. Yeah. Death Before Dishonor.
And we're gonna get Wheeler Yuta and Claudia versus Shibata and Eddie Kingston.
That's probably the Thursday taping. You have to
sign me up. Yeah. We're having a good time. Here. All wins all around. This was fantastic. This was one of, if not the best matches of the weekend. Show of the weekend
so far. Yeah.
Now I can't speak on WrestleMania Night 2. Hasn't happened yet. WrestleMania Night 1 made a good pitch. They really did. Pitch that I wasn't ready for them to make.
No.
So both of those shows are great. TJPW show, I think, rounds out the top 3 shows of the week. So good job all around.
Good job all around. Well, that was it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio.
I don't have a match of the week.
I mean, all of the we pretty much discussed every single match we watched.
Kenny and Jeff Cobb. There you go.
Perfect. Beautiful. Fuck, I don't know. Not Stand and Deliver. The only other match I think I watched that we didn't discuss. Let me just verify. Oh, I guess I could do this. No, we kind of already. No, I did.
Did you watch Dynamite?
I did watch Dynamite. Would it be okay if I say? Would it be okay if I say we kind of already discussed it? Kind of Emi Sakura versus Athena. We didn't really.
No, that counts. Yeah, I'll allow it.
So it was either that or it was going to be Tyler Bateman versus Adam Brooks at Circle 6. I think that's the only other thing that is worthy, maybe.
Big Circle 6 guy.
Big Circle 6 guy over here.
Our podcast setup's better than the Circle 6 match
shows.
For a match, our podcast setup is better for a match.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have a ring set up around us. So that is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We thank everybody for listening to this week's episode. We'll be back this Friday. We are not recording next week on Sunday. We are not doing Easter Sunday. We're recording on Good Friday. So so we'll be doing similar time slot. We'll be recording in the morning, just happening on Friday. You can follow Scott
Genesis preview,
Sakura Genesis preview, Cinderella tournament preview / review, final preview review sort of thing. WrestleMania Night 2, obviously.
It won't be as ice cold now.
Yeah, wouldn't be as ice cold now.
Sakura Genesis will be, but that's fine.
Well, we'll preview Sakura Genesis the day before it happens, and then when we review it, that's ice cold. That'd be the 16th.
That will be very cold.
That'd be super icy cold. Night 2, maybe we're on a Lucha action. We'll preview the Collision shows.
When's Rebellion?
Do I have it written down? Oh, I don't have here. I have to look at the Impact.
God damn it.
Rebellion is not till April 16th, so we have a little bit of time.
It's the day of our next recording.
Well, not next recording, but after that.
They did a Sunday pay-per-view, those bastards.
I know, I agree.
Who the hell do they think they are?
And it is pay-per-view as well. So we'll be back this Friday. So make sure you are subscribed to Ring Post Radio wherever you get it. To make sure you're listening to Ring Post Radio when it comes out this Friday. Until I think there's anything else to talk about. I don't think we're good. If there's nothing else, we'll see you all next time on Ring Post Radio.